Normally, when I am this depressed, I binge on some good old American comfort food. Some hot dog pie, maybe a baseball sandwich, and always on the side, a heaping order of freedom fries. You can feel the liberty coat your arteries.
This is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Hey, man, is that Freedom Rock? Yeah, man. Well, turn it up, man.
JD in Nashville. JD, what do you say?
I want to tell y'all that I ain't voting for nobody that don't say freedom enough.
I want to assure you, we're going to fight for America.
Freedom ain't free beer.
We have to fight for our freedoms also.
Fight for freedom. Hot wings.
We have to fight for our freedoms also.
Saying you gotta eat freedom fries. You gotta eat freedom Fritos, Joe.
We have to fight for our freedoms also.
Fritos, Joe.
Freedoms also.
Freedom, 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 freedom. Freedom, 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 freedom.
Freedom is always just one generation away from extinction.
It's time for the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. I've been looking for freedom.
It's Wednesday. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. So on days where we don't work, I have a hard time sometimes adjusting my schedule.
Yeah.
And when we were first off, I woke up at 4 in the morning. I'd gone to bed at 10, but I woke up at 4. My body was exhausted.
You got out of bed.
Yeah, my mind was awake. My mind was doing things.
Dude, that's crazy.
Terrible.
Yeah, I hate that.
So by 10 to 5, I'm on my way to the grocery store. And I think, well, Steve's doing best of. I'm going to check out how that sounds. So I drive the long way, and I get there. And just as I pull into the parking lot, that played.
That intro.
Yes. And I didn't want to sit in the car. But once I knew that David Hasselhoff was going to soon be looking for freedom,
Yeah.
I was committed. And then it played for a very short time, and Steve talked, and I was mad at Steve.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, well, that's what all the listeners do.
More freedom, less talking.
Shut up and play the hop, Steve.
Sorry, I didn't want to ruin it. I was pumping my fist in the studio, too.
Yeah.
I was up early looking for freedom, and you ruined it.
Uh-huh.
I was like every other listener. I hated Steve for doing best of wrong.
Yeah.
Steve, only do best of the way I thought of it in my mind.
Yeah.
At that time. Then.
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah. Well, in my
Pretty
face,
much.
I was at a grocery store at 5 a.m. and to buy apples and toast, bread, to be made into toast. Oh. But they were great apples. That's a fact. 1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots at freebeerandhotwings.com. I was reading this morning that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is thinking of changing their rules for entry into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It seems like they barely have rules now.
There's rules.
The main rule is you have to wait to induct an artist until they have gone 25 years since their first recording as a group.
Right, now that one makes sense to me. They have some staying power.
That's it. That's the rule. That's
Okay.
the one they're going to change.
Oh, okay.
They're going to reduce the number of years.
Okay.
Because apparently they're not excited about the crop of likely musicians who are near the top of the list for next year's incoming class.
Yeah.
That class is led by the likes of the Indigo Girls, Simply Red, Mike and the Mechanics,
Ah, the 80s.
and Megadeth. Now, Megadeth's fine. They probably have a place at the table.
See, the thing is, that's crap anyway, though. They don't need that. There's still bands like Rush and Alice Cooper that aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that have had a ton of staying power.
Here-
I mean, turn on any classic rock station, you're guaranteed to hear one of those artists in about 4 minutes.
Oh, you got that exactly right. Here's a list of artists not in that have been eligible for some time. Kiss, Chicago, Yes, Doobie Brothers, Boston, Rush, Moody Blues, Todd Rundgren, Linda Ronstadt, Carly Simon, Carole King, Neil Diamond, The Cars, and Hall & Oates. Those are just some.
Yeah, I mean, all of those people should be in there. I don't even like some of the music from some of those people, but they should all be in there. They're all very notable names who had a number of hits or wrote a lot of hits.
Say that list again for me.
Kiss, Chicago, Yes, the Doobie Brothers, Boston, Rush, the Moody Blues, Todd Rundgren, Linda Ronstadt, Carly Simon, Carole King, Neil Diamond, The Cars, and Hall & Oates.
All right, Todd Rundgren.
Yeah, maybe not
should
Todd
be
Rundgren, yeah.
Seriously.
Nobody cares about Todd Rundgren.
He has one song. It's
I mean,
that
yeah,
song
big
that
deal.
you...
What is
that
it, Bang a Gong?
You,
Is that him?
you play, it's the Welcome to the Weekend song.
Yeah.
Every classic rock station in America. All right, time to blow the whistle, the boss, letting you out of your cage.
Yeah, he had one hit and he raised Liv Tyler, right? Wasn't
Yep.
that him?
Stop looking for the song. You can't play it, man. It's not Friday.
I know.
I know, it's going to throw everybody off if we do that.
If you were to play that on a Friday or on a Wednesday or a Tuesday or any other day but Friday, any other time other than 5 p.m., dude, it's the dumbest song ever. It starts out with this real rowdy, like, get up off your chair. Kick your boss in the face. Oh, there it is. What are we doing?
It must be Friday.
Everybody.
I think we might play it every day at this time.
Ever since I was 10 boy. I don't know. I don't want no candy. Don't need no toy.
I got some bad news for you guys. He has more songs than that. He has at least 3 others.
Doesn't he have a song called Hello, It's Me?
Yeah, he has some real watery gay wad song.
This is everything you guys said. Hello, it's me, and it's a watery gay wad song.
Me. Steven Tyler laid some pipe, and I'm raising his daughter. Hello, it's me. I'll be your pansy that raises your child.
He's also got this one. What is this album called? My First Casio?
Leroy boy, is that you? I thought your
Leroy
Mustang
boy, is that
was
you?
Homo.
I Saw the Light. Okay, he's off the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's really I wonder where you do.
Tell me you're not back into it. The Rundgren.
That noise makes me think of Six Flags.
All right, well, go to the
That's
weekend.
not the song they used,
No,
is it?
it
But it's
I
pretty
don't think
similar.
so, but it's that same kind of dopey organ noise.
Look at us. We are the classic rock station playing all the hits that matter.
That song sounds different without Fred Flintstone sounding his end of the workday whistle
That's right.
while it's going on, because
Well,
that's
what
the
you-
only way
Yeah,
it's
we need a
supposed to
little
happen.
yabba dabba doo.
You got to play all these get you going movie clips along with it, like
I'm
it's
mad as
100
hell as I ain't going to take anymore.
Right. It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. I don't want to work.
It's got to be followed by the 420 funnies, too.
All right, coming up 420, we're going to play a comedian for 10 minutes. You know, stand up.
We do it at 4:20 because we like to smoke pot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, if they do pull off if they do make the change from 25 years to 20, here are some artists that would headline the class then. Guns N' Roses, Green Day, Public Enemy, Nirvana, the Smashing Pumpkins, and Zayn Family Boyfriend Kid Rock.
No, it doesn't work. It's not enough time. I don't know. It just seems strange.
It's only 5 years, but what a difference that makes. You know, as far as the quality
you're right.
of the artists going in. You know, whatever. It's their Hall of Fame.
So they're going to they were considering shortening it to
from 25 to 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah. So maybe just put in some of those other people, with the exception of Todd Rundgren. Certainly Neil Diamond. I mean, even if you don't like those artists that are on that list, you still can't go against the fact that they had a pretty big library of songs, with the exception of Todd Rundgren, and had some very big success and still remain relevant to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at album sales, I mean, some of those bands have sold a hell of a lot of albums.
Yeah.
And even if they haven't, they had a big influence. Like Carole King. I can't stand Carole King, but apparently she's quite a huge person in the industry.
Apparently
wrote a lot of hits and things like that.
Apparently has influenced a lot of other people. Yeah.
But did she raise anyone's child? Any famous person's child, though, like Todd Rundgren?
Yeah, I don't know if she ended up having to be anybody's parenting stooge or not, but
parenting stooge. Rundgren is somehow a stooge because he helped raise a child.
Well, he's got a stoogey name. Rundgren doesn't have a cool ring to it.
No,
he's got a star.
He's got a very stoogey name, and the fact is he raised Liv Tyler, but he still got none of the credit.
That's
because
true.
she looks like Steven Tyler. Everybody knows.
Well,
whose
and
kid
she's
is
known
she?
as Steven Tyler's daughter.
She's Steven Tyler's daughter, the daughter of Steven Tyler and B.B. Buell or whatever. Nobody talks about Todd Rundgren.
Yeah, and it's such a
he really got left out in the cold.
And
that means he's a complete wuss.
It's such a wiener name. Like, Slash is a great name. Todd Rundgren is not a great name. It's like calling yourself Felix Smigelski.
Todd Rundgren is the guy who quits the basketball team because coach won't play him enough.
It's anybody's
Where's Todd?
name. Just his name alone.
Here, meet my dad,
Todd. You can stop there. He's a wiener. He wrote wiener songs. He doesn't even have a penis.
What?
Certainly. Just listen to it.
Yeah,
he doesn't. He cut it off and ate it.
Hello, it's me. With all the evidence we need that he cut it off and ate it. I'm willing to go with that. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Why he had to raise somebody else's kid? He clearly couldn't have one of his own.
Mm-hmm. Loser.
So, right. Sylvester Stallone broke his neck recently. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
We'll tell you who broke his neck, because there's a who
There's
involved.
a who?
A who broke his neck. We'll get to that next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
Okay, turn over the radio really loud.
All right.
Okay. Nate, you said it's 2?
Mm-hmm. He's 2.
Do you think he repeats things?
He does.
Nate, say Mom has a stinky beaver.
1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com later on this hour. The flashback, rather, is about judging a book by its cover. I don't know whether or not you're not supposed to.
And that's the fun way to do things.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that yesterday, in fact. We had somebody really upset about something I had said. We talked about that guy that had the horns tattooed on his head. And I had said, well, once you get your horns tattooed on your head, you are basically committing yourself to no upward mobility and being judged by strangers and people assuming you're the worst.
Right.
Person was very offended. Emailed them later and really pissed, like wished awful things on families and stuff like that. I emailed them later. I said, look, I think Hot Wings, you emailed them too.
Well, it's because initially he attacked me.
Yeah, that was true.
And I thought maybe it was something I said because I didn't know. I'm
right.
like, whatever.
Well, the only thing I could think you could be upset about would be somehow thinking that we made a generalization about all people with tattoos. Is that it?
Yeah, he was talking about how
so.
We were judgmental, self-righteous jerks.
Okay. All right.
But what I was implying was not that, because I know plenty of people with tattoos that are great people, and I know plenty of people without tattoos that are a-holes that I could spend no time with and be completely happy. The point is, once you have tattoos on your face like devil horns, you are going to be judged by them.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was the whole
exactly.
point of that.
That's not like a girl with a Hello Kitty tattoo on her wrist. For God's sakes, it's devil horns on your forehead.
It's difficult for a person who's all inked up. If they've got sleeves and they go to work at the accounting firm or whatever, it doesn't matter where. Typically, you roll the dice because, sometimes a person on the other side of the desk doesn't feel comfortable with that. That was your point.
That was exactly my point.
That doesn't seem that complex.
Maybe it got lost in the shuffle, but I didn't think so. But there's always one very offended.
Yeah. Oh, great. So. Is it hate email of the day worthy?
Maybe. I don't know. It was so misdirected. I didn't think of it because he totally blamed Hot Wings and it didn't make any sense.
Oh no.
So Sylvester Stallone broke his neck.
Okay.
During the filming of his movie, The Expendables. You've heard about that. We've talked about that. That's the movie that's, I believe, due out this summer, where the team of mercenaries goes to overthrow a South American dictator.
So the Rambo series has been renamed, right? Apparently.
No, this is like Rambo on crazy steroids.
I see.
Because
doesn't this have like a ton of stars?
This is the one that they're stacking with everyone who's ever been or considered being an action star. Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li, Jason Statham, Mickey Rourke, Eric Roberts, UFC fighter Randy Couture, Danny Trejo. Brittany Murphy happens to be in it. Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger all make appearances in this movie with Sylvester Stallone and the person who broke his neck. While they were filming this movie, now Sly's 63 at this point. He doesn't look it because he dyes his hair and he does steroids or human growth hormone or something.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Well, that was
actually he got caught with something.
He got caught with that overseas.
But apparently, in filming one of the scenes with former professional wrestler and a guy who's had, he has a film career in that he has been in some films, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And in that fight scene, it was apparently, according to Sly, so rough that he got a hairline fracture in his neck and had to have a pretty heavy operation afterwards and now has a metal plate in his neck.
Wow.
Yikes.
From the filming. I don't want a metal plate in my neck.
Man.
I wonder if this movie will be good.
No, come on now.
You never know. I mean,
I remember when we left the latest Rocky movie, just called Rocky Balboa.
Mm-hmm.
We had such low expectations for that film that we walked out and said, it wasn't that bad.
It was because we went
and it wasn't
looking forward to doing essentially because we went at a time during the middle of the day when we knew no one would be there. And we knew we could do essentially Mystery Science Theater 3000 and make fun of it if we wanted to because no one would be in the theater.
Let's start building some hurting bombs.
It ended up being okay. Boy, that line out of context beforehand, though, we're like, oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad in the movie, although by that point it was already hilarious, so it didn't make any difference. I've got a trailer for The Expendables, except it's 3 minutes long.
Let's test your computer.
The official. All right, let's give it a whirl.
Supposedly Hot Wings has his own computer now.
We kill them, we will kill them.
It starts with typical action sequence.
Drop your guns.
Standoff.
Not a chance. Why do they always say that?
Why do they always say
We
that?
kill them all. I don't care.
Okay, good guys versus bad guys. Typical.
What's that? Get a text.
Excuse
me.
It's filled with action and it's hilarious.
Excuse me. How are we going to kill these bad guys when you're
Well, I
getting
got
text?
3 pieces of work.
God, Mickey Rourke looks weird.
One to hell and back.
The target of this island is a guy named General Garza.
They've got a small army. What do we got? 4.5 men.
Not so funny.
Bunch of bad actors.
I don't think this looks good.
Unless you're so homely.
You want to be focused?
No, we have a time, place.
Yeah, I don't have any idea what's going on at this point.
No, I
It's
don't
all
either.
Crap.
It looks like a TV movie.
It does,
with
man.
people I know in it. I got to give Stallone credit, though. You'd never guess he's 63. 43?
No, he
43.
looks. He still looks a lot better than Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke, he had I saw a comparison of his face with plastic surgery.
Weird.
He is a different man.
Yeah.
he got pulled.
He really is.
He got stretched in a weird way and made his face look weird. And now he's got that crazy stringy hair, which apparently the last 3 movie roles they said, all right, we've got a 3-movie deal for you in which you have to look exactly the same for each of them.
Mm-hmm.
One being the wrestler, the second being Iron Man, and now this piece of crap.
Oh, yeah, I forgot because he's in the new Iron Man. He has
He
the
looks
same.
exactly the same. Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah, he looks completely different. He's been all juiced up ever since the wrestler.
Unbelievable, because he was gone.
Yeah,
he would have been below surreal life. Like getting Mickey Rourke, it'd have been like, oh yeah, it's Peppa and Mickey Rourke this year on Surreal Life with Jose Canseco.
Peppa, hey,
and Mickey
Peppa.
Rourke.
It would have been believable.
That's hilarious.
And then he, gets nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
Did you ever see The Wrestler?
I did see The Wrestler.
Did you see the hardcore wrestling scene?
I did see the hardcore wrestling scene. I kind of I started to go fast forward through it, and they were stapling stuff to each other, and the dollar bill stapled and pulling the staples out, and it was crazy.
The way they filmed that was pretty cool. Howings, have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it, no.
He's doing all these low-level wrestling things, and this isn't spoiling any of the plot for the movie. This is just one brief scene that they used to show how far he sunk. Because he, at one point, I mean, you'd think his big match was him against the Ayatollah, like Hulk Hogan against the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden. They sort of parallel that. And then 20 years later, he's wrestling in a high school gym against some guy who has a physique that makes me look like Mr. Universe. And he goes up to Randy the Ram, as he's named in this film, and he goes, how do you feel about staples? And then it says, 20 minutes later, and they show him covered in staples sticking out of his body.
Oh.
And then they show them pulling them out one at a time, and you're like, oh, God, that was gross. Glad they didn't show more of that. And then it says 15 minutes earlier, and they're breaking glass over his head and sticking each other with corkscrews.
That dude is the terrible thing. That was one of the saddest movies I've ever seen in my life. One of the saddest things I've ever seen was the part when he felt all lonely in his trailer. And he wanted someone to keep him company, just to talk to. He's so pathetic. Mm-hmm. And he sticks his head outside and he sees a little boy who he kind of befriended. And he goes, hey, whatever your name is, come on over and play Nintendo. And they've got this old beat-up Nintendo, and the kid is bored out of his mind playing a stupid wrestling game, in which has a likeness of Randy the Ram in it. And he's like trying to talk to the little boy, and the boy's like, yeah, whatever, old man.
The kid's just humoring him.
Just humoring him. Even the kid knows he's pathetic. He's 10.
And bear in mind, it's not set in the days of Nintendo. It's set in the days of Xbox 360. And old Ram has...
Oh, such a bummer. And then he goes and sees his daughter. Oh, God. One thing after another. I cried in that effing movie. God, that really pulled it out of me, man.
That was a good movie, but it was sad.
Lonely and miserable.
I had seen it quite a while ago, and then it was on HBO, and I went, I got to watch that again. That was a good movie. And I recorded it. I got about as far as the hardcore scene, and then I remembered how he's dysfunctional. And because before I saw the movie, I thought he was going to be kind of a jerk, because I thought it was based on Hogan. And it's not. He's a very likable guy. He's,
dude,
just the world has passed him by. He's listening to 80s, glam metal, pumping steroids and trying to fix his broken family.
I'll bet you 1 million people committed suicide after seeing that movie.
It sounds great.
Dude,
I'd love to see it.
It sucks.
I'll wait until my life is really on a high note. Like, if I'm feeling just too damn joyful. Like, I'm ready to have sunshine burst out of my own chest. I will get that movie and put it in and watch it.
Do not see this movie.
Bring me down a little.
Maybe wait until your son's old enough to be away at camp and your wife hasn't been talking to you as much because she's been extra busy, so you're feeling a little lonely. Then pop it in.
That'll pick me up,
right?
I'm already screwed up mentally, and that did not help issues.
You buy the DVD, it comes with 6 feet of rope.
Oh, cyanide.
What does rope have to do with this movie? Then you watch, you go, oh, I got
it. Jesus, man.
In a moment, the flashback, judging a book by its cover. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
If you've done any of these things, give us a call. Or if you're a douchebag. Or if you've done this. Any can call in now. And for my mom, she's juicy. Call in now.
That's what happened when Joe's in charge. It's open phones, baby. Any of that stuff.
Take all those calls.
That's right. Mm-hmm. The flashback today. Conversations about judging books by their covers. That's the... I threw this idea out to Hot Wings yesterday. We were sitting in the office. I think Joe was in there, too, at the time.
Yeah.
And that is a discussion of the assumptions you make about people based on their appearance alone.
Oh,
and we thought about letting listeners call in and share the, like, if you see somebody who's dressed a certain way, they've got a certain look to them or whatever. Yeah. Zane, you do it every day of your life.
Well,
everybody does
it. In fact, Free Beer said, hey, do you think you do that? And I go, when don't I do that?
Yeah.
But I do it all the time.
If we could do some generalizing of some of these, maybe. And here's where it comes up.
I know one that's a perfect one.
22-year-old Brandon, I don't know how to say his last name, so I'm not going to waste your time. But he is on trial from Auburn, Maine, is on trial for murdering a college student during a street fight in 2002.
Wow.
Now, he and his lawyer have made a request for the trial that they don't want the jury to see his head and neck tattoos because they think the jury will automatically find him guilty if they see them, or be far more inclined to find him guilty if they see them. Yeah. In other words, making the assumption based on his appearance.
Well, you would think somebody was definitely a much badder ass if instead of just tattoos, they have tattoos on their neck and onto their head.
Well, listen to his tattoos. So. He's got horns tattooed on his head.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
And a chain of thorns tattooed around his neck, which that's not that uncommon.
Around your neck it is.
Yeah.
Billions of people outside with tattoos on their face.
On their arm, but not on
their
like
neck. The barbed wire or something, I mean, that's passé now, but around your neck and horns on your head, I mean, that's pretty definitive.
He's grown out his hair to cover the horns, and he plans to wear turtlenecks to cover the thorns on the neck. But he wants to block photos that show his tattoos from the trial.
Well, if I saw a guy walking around like that, I would assume that he was some sort of a badass.
You'd be more inclined to think that he probably would...
Or in a band. One of the two. He's either a crook or in a band.
Yeah. And it's not true. I mean,
not
by
necessarily.
No means is it true that anyone with a tattoo on their neck is going to be a murderer.
No, but it takes a special kind of person to get tats right on top of their cranium.
1-800-947-3979. The assumptions you make based on appearance, and I'm sure that we'll get people who will... And we're not necessarily saying that these are true assumptions. Because I know there's going to be people who are going to call and say, well, I'm the exception to that. I have a tattoo on my face.
Well, there's always going to be exceptions. That's why they call them generalizations. I mean, you're generalizing a whole group of people, but generally speaking, you're right.
You get the guy with the Marine Corps tattoo or the, whatever his, whatever armed service, that's a, I mean, to me, those are pretty normal.
Well, yeah, because most of the guys in the service have them or whatever, and it says, I can kill you 3 different ways, but I'm probably a good guy.
When you see the guy or girl who goes out of their way, they have to be on drugs because they put the tattoo in the most ridiculous place, like the top of their head, or like, I want you to put a tattoo on my chode.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that.
Yeah, you got to have an emotional deficient, but luckily, hopefully, I would never get an opportunity to see that on another human.
Zane, what assumptions do you make when you see a tattoo there?
Oh, God. Well, when I see the normal tattoo like the Marine guy or something like that, I really don't think too much of it.
It's more of an it's almost like wearing a shirt for your favorite baseball team. Then it identifies a loyalty you have, like, you know what I mean?
Well, a lot of people have like an arm tattoo, or even like a guy, like guys in the military. Some of them have them on their calf or something like that. I mean, that's today that's fairly passé.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people have those.
I see the women, and Hot Wings did what Hot Wings thinks about women who put the tattoos in the small of their back. I think some look hot for some reason now. I don't know why.
Well, there's a size differentiator because a lot of sorority chicks now get a little tattoo there. But I'll tell you, if you see
but they have to have the appearance to go with it. If you have that big cow ass, you don't want that thing on there.
Well, it doesn't,
because that shouldn't be seen anyway because it's too huge.
The same reason none of us have tattoos because we're not cool enough
to
pull them off.
We'd look stupid with them.
Stupid.
But the point is, it doesn't matter if they're tiny or large or whatever. If there's a back tattoo, and especially if you see them smoking and drinking too, they're easy.
Oh, you're darn right.
Like in the movie Wedding Crashers, when
the
girl bends over and she has the back tattoo, and Vince Vaughn says, might as well be a target.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. We've talked about that years before Wedding Crashers came out. We didn't need that movie to tell us that.
Yep,
I mean, and everybody knows
it's very hot on the right chick, and a woman who has her tongue pierced. Oh, God.
That's a girl who does. Oh, yeah.
And there's tongue pierced. It's incredible.
1-800.
Absolutely.
947-3979. The assumptions you make based on appearance alone. Hot Wings, was that the one you were gonna mention, the tattoos on the lower back? Doesn't it be tattoo related?
That's the one that I always know.
I will say that the guy though who has the full arm sleeve thing and I don't know how to explain it. It's either didn't get enough attention or just freaking weird.
Well, I know the generalization I make. He's in a band.
This is John. Hello, John.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you today?
Good, man. What do you say? What assumptions do you make based on appearance alone?
Well, I'm just want to comment on people that make assumptions on me based on my dress and appearance because I'm an otherwise intelligent and well-spoken individual, but I like the Grateful Dead and I like folk music, and I wear tie-dyes and stuff like that all the time. And I'm walking down the street, people automatically look at me like I'll look at the hippie. Look at the hippie.
Now, do you have long hair?
No, I don't have long hair. I only have a couple of tattoos, but they're easily concealed.
I have to admit, I see tie-dye, I think burnout.
Well, if you dress like a hippie, you are kind of a hippie.
However,
however,
a lot of these deadheads are so well established, and it costs tremendous amount of money to follow this band around.
Absolutely.
They're usually pretty frickin' rich.
Absolutely.
And I would say that you're pretty established in your career.
Yes, you could say that.
Yeah. And
it's like a lot of biker dudes.
And
you
sell
a lot
drugs.
of those guys are lawyers, and
He doesn't sell drugs. Well, you might, I don't know.
How much pot do you have available within 5 minutes from you right now?
Within 5 minutes from me, probably not a whole lot, just a doob or two.
Oh,
just enough to get me through.
Right.
There you go.
You're going to be stoned in the next 15 minutes.
Right. Everyone was way off.
What do you mean? 15 minutes? That's far too long to wait.
Oh, you go take your Peter, Paul, and Mary records and go smoke down.
You
hippie bastard.
Thank you, John.
Go plug in. Go electric.
Good job. This is another John. Hi, John.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys?
Good, man. What do you say? Judged by appearance.
Yeah, I got a funny story about it. My brother-in-law has more money than anybody I've ever met. He's got a whole bunch of pizzerias.
Okay.
And he was ready to buy a new car, and he went into a Mercedes dealership right after work. So he was covered with flour, and he probably still had dough on his arms and all that. But
right.
Big Italian guy, and he's ready to pay sticker price, and he's basically got a suitcase full of cash with him. He's ready to rip.
Wow.
He couldn't get anybody to even talk to him at the Mercedes place.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, exactly. So he said, screw it, and he walked down the street to the BMW place and paid full price for a BMW and drove past the Mercedes place and just honked the horn as he was driving by, waved at him.
Yeah, he should have grabbed a sales guy on the way out of the Mercedes dealership and said, "This is what you're missing out on. This suitcase full of money, you idiot."
Exactly.
Well, they didn't want him anyway. They make all their money by charging huge financing rates.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
based
on generalizations, he's a big Italian guy, makes pizza, so he's no doubt a mob boss.
Well, yeah, it's a front for the mob. That's where his money's from.
Tell him to stop killing people and do some legitimate work.
Thank you, John.
All right, bye-bye.
See you, man. Good job. No.
He didn't like that at all.
1-800-947-3979. We were kidding.
Yeah, that was just a joke, man. No.
Bet no one's listening who's in the mob.
Oh, I bet people are listening who's in the mob.
Bet no one's we need a mob boss to call. He can remain anonymous.
Yeah, that's going to work out. If we get that call, that'd be
you're a
pretty
mob
cool.
boss. You're used to that.
Remaining anonymous? Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, all you mob heads.
This is Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Do you make assumptions based on appearance?
Oh, yeah.
Like what? What is one you make?
It's like I know fat people need love and all, but when I see a fat chick, I say to myself, she has nothing good to offer me, really.
So you immediately assume she's a bad person because of that?
Not a bad person, but, like, she has nothing good to give to me.
It is based entirely on appearance. That's rough, but I know people do it. I mean, it's not right necessarily.
Everybody's guilty of it once in a while.
Yeah. In one direction or another, absolutely.
Well, the thing is, though, fatties can look good.
Then they love being called fatties.
Yeah, they prefer chubbies.
Full-figured women can look good.
Thank you, Chris.
The big boned.
That's possible. And
Absolutely.
I'm talking about Orca. Can look good.
It'd be great if there was...
Wait a minute, Joe.
It'd be
I'm
great
serious.
if there was a large woman in here who looked at Zane and said, gargoyles can look good. Seriously.
Yeah, like you.
The uglies.
Well, I think, it doesn't matter if you're skinny or fat.
Now,
I mean,
I'm laughing about that.
If you take care of yourself.
I made fun of them, but I'm laughing at your joke at me.
It is. Hot Wings is right, though.
Yeah, if you take care of yourself, that's what it's all based on.
You dress
if you
right,
look like you have hygiene, you're in good shape.
I've seen some really ugly.
Smell nice.
There's plenty of ugly skinny chicks.
Sure, but if you're a whale and you have no makeup and you're traipsing around in a moo-moo, for God's sake, well, no, you're gross.
If you're overweight and your stomach's spilling out over your pants,
if you dress
it's
sensibly
not good.
and you take care of yourself and you bathe,
you got to dress for your body type.
But I think for people who are overweight, I think that's a tough one to overcome.
I think that's
that is a big Hot Wings. You do it all. I mean, I'm not saying anything you wouldn't say is that you do it bad.
The two toughest things in America to be are black or fat. There's no question. Less opportunities. It has to be that way because people make all these generalizations.
Right. It's just fun to have Zane say it. I don't know why. But you're right.
Because Zane doesn't usually say anything that's right.
Shut up. I say a lot of right things. Like I say, if I say enough things, some will be right.
This is Stu. Hi, Stu.
How you guys doing this morning?
Good. It says on the screen you judge people by voice?
No, actually, people judge me by my voice.
They do?
They do.
Okay, well, just from what you've said, I assume you're pretty big.
Right.
That you've been in bar fights.
Right.
Been in bar fights.
And that you probably have tattoos.
Okay, well, you're wrong on all three, and there's my point exactly.
No kidding.
I would say you're Ozzy Osbourne's roadie.
I've been called everything from Barry White up from there, and that goes back to the fat black people, but that's another story.
Okay, what do you look like?
What do you
What's
look
your describe everything about you that needs to be described?
I'm about 5'8". I'm about 165 pounds.
This is unbelievable.
Not a tattoo to be found. I got a mustache and a beard. What else you want to know?
What color's your hair? It's got to be black or brown or dark.
Dark brown. Yeah, dark brown.
Dark brown.
Are you blue collar, white collar?
White collar.
White? No, you're not.
See, yeah, I was doing.
You're
I
a
was,
dock worker.
I was making the same assumption. That's funny?
So you're under the assumption that if to be white collar, like you have to have some sort of a fancy British accent or something?
No.
No, but to be blue collar, you have to have a deep voice.
Right.
You wear a hard hat. You work on high steel.
In Zane's world, there were no lumberjacks going, "Hey, give me a hammer."
Yeah.
So I'm in the wrong line of work? Is that what you guys are telling me?
Apparently.
Yeah, you're supposed to be a lumberjack based on your voice. That's what we assume.
Or a mob guy.
Exactly.
You need to go start killing people or something.
Well, you could be a white collar mob guy.
What freaks me out is everyone tells me I should be in radio. I'm coming after you guys now.
That's what you should do.
You don't want any part of this stupid world.
It's what's funny is we did to Stu based on his voice what everyone does to us. Well, I thought you'd be 50 and fat and bald.
Yeah.
That's what they always assume with us. So there you go. Thank you, Stu.
My pleasure.
I
Have a
like
good one,
this
guys.
game.
Good
I
job.
like that. I want to do that more.
That would actually be fun.
If anyone would call and be willing to let us describe what we think they
look like.
Look like based on.
Well, we'll try it with this guy. That's not why he was calling. Hi, Keith.
How's it going?
Now I can already see the description of what Keith is based on what he told Joe. When he was
I
screening.
can't see
so,
it.
So maybe you guys ask Keith a couple questions, and you can try to judge the book by the voice in this case.
I got to hear a little more of Keith say something. Tell us about the weather or something, Keith.
It's hot and muggy outside. That's about it.
All right, you're a dork. You're about 18, and
Wrong.
okay, you haven't shaved ever.
No,
You haven't shaved ever.
No, you've got scruff. You're scruffy, and you're an upperclassman college student.
Okay, you're saying college student. Zane, what's his job?
Fry cook.
No. No. Keith, tell him, because you called to say that you get judged all the time because of why?
Because of the way my hair looks.
Yeah. Okay.
And how does your hair look?
Well, I cut my hair in a mohawk recently for my girlfriend. You know, my girlfriend and her friend, they decided they were going to dye it blonde and give me a mohawk and all that one night when we were hanging out.
And how
now everybody
thinks you're a badass?
Everybody just assumes that I'm some punk and everything, you know, that I'm 18 and, you know, looking for trouble, some college student, just like they described, but that's not the case at all.
Keith has a mohawk and drives a dump truck. That's not what either of you guys
Well, how
are
old
saying.
are you, Keith?
Me, I'm 22, and I own my own business.
All right, well, I was in the
business
ballpark of
back in
age.
Yeah, you were close with age.
Because you'd have been a senior in college based on
But
age.
it's tough, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Keith, I want you to grow your hair back and never do that again. It's an awful look.
Yeah, mohawk shit.
It's just a bummer.
Take some time out of your day, Hot Wings, to imagine Zane with the mohawk.
There's only one guy who can wear a mohawk, and for the third day in a row he's being mentioned. Mr. Frickin' T.
The funny part about it is recently we went to a wrestling match down in Wildwood,
right?
WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And we were down there and I got into an argument with somebody that was standing in our way, and right away she went back and told the security guard that I had yelled at her to move or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Right away they come over, they want to bounce me out of the place. Next thing you know, I'm getting arrested because, you know,
You got
I'm arguing with the
arrested?
Security guards, yeah.
You got arrested
at a
Arguing
wrestling
with
match.
security guards and all. They never even asked me my side of the story. They didn't ask anybody around me what happened. They
Are
just
you
came over and assumed I was the troublemaker and threw me out of it.
Those weren't security guards. They were fashion police.
Yeah. They're
Busting
arresting
you for your bad haircut.
They're arresting you for your mohawk.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
Check the website, freebeerandhotwigs.com. New stuff goes up there every day. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Fine.
It's time for the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
If you're headlining, they fly you in the night before so that you can get up extra early in the morning the next day and do the morning zoo crew drive time radio to promote the show. And it's the worst, man. That is a nightmare. Even if it's 15 minutes, it is the worst 15 minutes of your life, always.
With Free Beer.
There's this guy who talks like this. He's always named after some kind of animal. He's always the bear or the cooter.
Hot Wings.
And there's his partner who talks like this. So it's this guy, and he's always the madman or the crazy doctor.
Eric Zane.
It's like 6 in the morning, and it's like Hawaiian shirts, and you can tell he just did a pound of blow like 4 hours earlier.
Producer Joe.
Huge Jimmy Buffett fans, you can tell big parrot heads they are.
And Steve.
Well, we're here with funny man David Cross. David, you didn't know it, but you're just in time to help us out with the Friday morning fart song. You're here with the Gator and the Lunatic,
The Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
It's Wednesday. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Free Beer, Hot Wings, and Eric Zane. Producer Joe here. Steve here. You can join us toll-free, 1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots at freebeerandhotwings.com. It's the I Can't Wait to Talk About Blank segment. Paired with an idiot comes up in the next segment. Mm-hmm. Then what Hot Wings thinks at the end of the hour. Which topic, Hot Wings?
Celebrity beefs.
Celebrity beefs.
Yeah, there's a specific one involving Floyd Mayweather. Went down over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah. A beef almost boiled over.
Okay. Not with the person he's supposed to be fighting.
No, with a rapper.
By the way, can you believe those two guys are not going to be able to get on the same page? I think this is all publicity trying to drum up interest in the fight, which is unnecessary considering they both have, 8-figure paydays coming their way at least if the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight goes down. They're debating over how the blood tests are going to be done to keep the drug testing.
Oh,
so, is it that they think one guy thinks the other guy does steroids? Is that or some type of performance enhancing?
There have been whispers about Pacquiao for a while, and so Mayweather's crew is demanding what to Pacquiao seems like ridiculous testing.
Is Pacquiao the guy who drinks his own juice? Remember that boxer that we saw?
I don't think that was him. I
thought
think
he could enhance himself by urinating.
I think that was a guy that either Mayweather or Pacquiao beat in one of their previous fights.
Oh my gosh.
Who did that? Yeah, he thought that it was vitamins leaving. He doesn't understand how the body works.
Yeah, he didn't want to waste any vitamins, as though he couldn't just take more vitamin. Oh, Juan Manuel Marquez.
That's the one.
The guy who drinks his own.
Unbelievable.
Well, it didn't work. He lost.
Yeah, obviously, maybe he should have just taken an additional one a day.
Or drank some of Pacquiao's.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's got something figured out.
Hey, Mayweather, can I borrow some of yours?
Go in here. Yeah, they got that going for him. But that's coming up a little bit later on in the hour. One of the reasons that we, and it's hard to believe that we're off tomorrow and Friday.
There's a reason for it.
There is a good reason for it.
If there's such a long bit of time off prior to that.
It's actually terrible timing, but there's a couple different reasons. And one of them is the fact that my wife is having a surgery, and it's expected to go fine, and it's all good, as far as any of it goes. But she did something last night that would never cross my mind. In fact, I didn't even want to be part of her doing it when it related to her. And that was look up the surgery she's going to have on YouTube and watch how it goes down.
Oh, no.
Oh, she watched it? Boy, I can see, looking up just to, this guy's like a Wikipedia thing, to sort of learn what to expect as you go into the hospital or whatever. Oh,
absolutely.
But God, no. Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch it. Oh, boy, especially because I know the surgery. Well, my wife had the same surgery that your wife is having at one point, and you don't see that.
I couldn't believe it. I go, what are you doing? She goes, well, I'm just putting it into YouTube and see what comes up. Well, you know what's going to come up. Video of the surgery.
I'm always amazed by people who aren't squeamed out by seeing surgery. My dad, when he had knee surgery, he watched his own knee surgery. He was numb from the waist down, so he couldn't move his legs anyway, so there was no problem there. And they said, do you want to see? He goes, yeah, I'd kind of like to see. And so they put the mirror there, and he watched the whole thing go on. With his knee wide open.
I had blood drawn while we were on vacation so I could get my cholesterol checked. And I stared at my phone in the other hand so that I wouldn't accidentally see the needle drawing my blood. That's nothing. I mean, if I see that, I'm going to be fine, I think.
No,
but I don't want to see it.
No, you won't. You won't be fine. I'm the same way, and I have a real problem with those things.
Yeah, I don't.
It makes me have a. Oh boy, I almost want to pass out when I even think about it.
Yeah, I don't like that. So I don't mind getting blood drawn, stuff like that, but I never watch it. I always turn my head and I start talking.
Yes.
I'll talk to the nurse or whoever. And I never watch it. I made that mistake one time when I was giving blood, and I looked over and I could see it going through the tube like a straw. And you go, ah!
Yeah.
No, that's a part of me.
My wife, with part of this EMT training, is she well, first of all, she had always loved those Discovery Health things about whatever ER nightmares or ER, and one of these shows with all this real footage.
Oh.
And I'm always like, oh God, what is wrong with you? And then. So she's studying to be an EMT, so she's got this big, thick book that she has to read from. And I'll sit down with a bowl of Lucky Charms at the kitchen table, and it'll be open because she's reading it, and I see, this an image of a compound fracture with it broken at the forearm, with it so coming out of the skin, busted skin, blood everywhere, the edges of the bone. I mean, it's a disaster.
Steve
and I'm
is
like,
ruined.
Are you kidding me? What? And she goes, oh, yeah, that's it. And I go, honey, if there's any way possible, I don't want to see that when I sit down with my Lucky Charms. I don't want to see lady with goiter. I don't want to see, all this crap.
One of the first times I saw your wife after she started her EMT training, and very excited about that, and she should be. I said, congratulations. I think you're going to be great, but please do me a favor. Please do not ever tell me anything about anything.
Yeah, I don't want to hear good stories
that you ever see.
I don't want to hear about dead baby.
Like what happened when you guys went to San Francisco, which probably was part of what led to her going to be an EMT, where she helped save that person's life. I want to hear that every time.
Yeah, but I only want to hear funny things.
What you saw when you drove up to realize how the motorcycle got to where it was, no thank you.
She had one call the other day because she's on an ambulance quite frequently now, and then she gets a call, and she goes there, and there's this lady, and she called 911 because she had a Charlie horse. She had a cramp in her leg.
Charlie horse?
She had like when someone punches your thigh.
Yeah, it hurts. I mean, it's terrible when you get a cramp in your leg, but
they do hurt badly.
And they said, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, it won't. The pain keeps coming and going, but I need something for the pain." And they go, "Well, the hospitals will give you nothing for pain, and Medicaid will not cover this. Are you sure you want to do this?" "Yeah, you take me to the hospital." They cart her fat ass up, take her to the hospital.
Wow.
She walks onto the ambulance and sits next to my wife like she's on the bus.
What the hell?
Back of this thing, this stupid idiot.
Hey, idiot. Drink some water, for God's sakes. Just hydrate a little, idiot.
They take her there. She walks off, is fine, and goes into the emergency room and gets her, quote, treatment. That's your tax dollars at work.
What a waste of time for everyone, and then in the ER. Can you imagine if you're waiting? I'm sure they put her very low on the priority list. I hope she stayed there for 36 hours waiting for someone to look at her boo-boo.
Yeah, and somebody actually said, well, you get those when you're dehydrated. And she said, that's impossible. I had 10 2-liters today.
Yeah.
I can't possibly be dehydrated.
I've drank so much Mountain Dew.
Yeah. I'm getting stories like that all the time.
I bet you your wife gets, and anyone who's an EMT gets called to a lot of stuff where obviously you hear the stories where they are helping someone in dire need, but a lot of other times where it's a big fat waste of time.
My wife, the ambulance driver.
That is, of all of the things that we've stumbled onto where people have discovered where we've discovered that we accidentally offended someone, referring to EMTs as an ambulance driver was maybe the one I least expected, because none of us had any idea. We just said, yeah, so the ambulance driver gets out and he's looking at this, and all of a sudden we get a flood of emails going, he's not an ambulance driver, he's an EMT.
Yeah, you would have thought we had used the N-word on the air. We go, what?
You can't drive an ambulance unless you're at least an EMT.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I don't know.
Well, yes.
I think so.
Asking that rhetorically.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you can't. It's not like there's a guy who's designated the driver and he has no EMT skills.
Right. He just gets there. If you're hurt, he goes, I brought the vehicle.
Yeah. I'm wearing this uniform, and I don't know what to do. I mean, what do you expect me to do? I'm just the driver.
Here, hold this over your face or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I just completed concrete jungle driving school. I mean, I don't know how to freaking fix anything. I don't even know where the Band-Aids are.
I know where the Band-Aids are. So you guys just shut the hell up there. You are ambulance drivers, and you should be proud of that.
Yeah,
because only you can do it.
It's only insulting if it's followed by chaser. Then it's insulting. If you're an ambulance chaser, it's an insult.
And as we said at the time, in our mind, it was the same thing anyway. And I know there's different levels of training and stuff, but there's different levels in training in lots of careers, and people don't get fussy over it.
Okay.
You know, what do? You work construction.
I'll tell you what.
You might be very much more specific than that.
I won't get mad if you call me DJ. If you don't get mad if I call you ambulance driver. Because though you're more than just an ambulance driver, I know I'm not a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
A DJ is the guy who spins records at the wedding.
Or a nightclub.
Or on the air playing music. You know, and that's not us. So, okay, I'll just have to take that.
Right.
It's easier to explain. Okay, yeah, I'm a DJ. Yep, explained easily. Then I don't have to explain to you what I do.
It is a lot easier to explain that. That's a fact. Just say DJ. They go, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a DJ. I told you.
1-800-947-3979. In a moment, Pair of an Idiot. We'll need a couple of contestants. 1-800-947-3979. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Hot Wings Show, as out of place as a Nazi dagger at Gettysburg.
1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots at freebeerandhotwings.com. Later on this hour, what Hot Wings thinks. Before that, a collection of stories of crooks and people who ended up getting busted because of their own stupidity. Just so happens that they all were in the various news sources and stuff that we looked at this morning. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we've ever, I'm sure we have just because of the volume of time that we've been on the air. At some point, if we've opened it up for people who got themselves busted in similarly stupid ways, maybe on a smaller scale, but ratting yourself out. Because in these cases, these are all incidents where people may have gotten away with what they were doing if they weren't, in fact, so dumb.
Okay.
All right. Also later on today, news about Tiger Woods broken from one of the least likely sources ever.
Wow.
Would have you expected an NHL hockey coach to be the one that explains why no one can see Tiger Woods these days?
Is he still coach?
Probably not.
I'm not sure if he's still coaching or not.
He's a former coach.
But he's, in the NHL, former coach means likely soon to be coach again if you have any success.
Reckless, and I'm glad, and this is awesome.
It is pretty sweet. It is pretty good. So we'll get to all those things coming up a little bit later on. Meanwhile, Paired with an Idiot, Hot Wings will take on Zane. I'm pretty sure I lost last time. Frankly, I couldn't remember, and I knew I hadn't made the list in a while, so I said I will do that. TJ in Grand Rapids joins us. Hi, TJ.
Hi.
And Joel in Wilmington, listening on Surf 98.3. Hi, Joel.
What's going on, fellas?
Not much.
Hey,
you guys are playing for a chance to get qualified, or the winner would get qualified to win the refurbished laptop from thirdorb.com. You also will get a VIP membership to freebeerandhotwings.com. Okay, Joel?
Sweet.
TJ?
Right. Okay.
Awesome.
All good. This game very similar to $25,000 Pyramid.
Yes.
We will give you, you will each be paired up with either Zane or Hot Wings.
Yep.
And then I have two lists, and Hot Wings and Zane will describe the things on those lists without saying the words or phrases that are on the list in an effort to get you to say them. Whoever gets the most out of 10 wins. Only the listeners can pass. TJ, any questions?
Nope.
Joel, any questions?
I'm good.
TJ, you got in first. Who do you want on your team, Hot Wings or Eric Zane?
I'll take Hot Wings.
Take
All right, man.
Joel, you and Zane will be a team. You will go second. Hot Wings and TJ, you will go first. Joel, choose the number 1 or 2 to randomly distribute the lists.
I'll take 1.
Take 1. All right.
Didn't we talk about doing something different with this game where it's similar to Free Beer Distracts for Sportier Than Thou?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, I don't.
Okay,
I don't remember
I
that
remember
at all.
what the discussion was when the situation would warrant it. We would there was some talk about cracking jokes or. It's almost like Mystery Science Theatering it.
Oh, it's very difficult. I find it very difficult when someone gives a description where there's a great line, or even for me, it could be a crappy line, and I still think it's funny, to jam it in there.
We'll play it by ear.
It's very distracting. All right, TJ and Hot Wings, you are up first.
All right.
Zane, here's a list for you to look at so you can follow along. Hot Wings, do not look at that list yet.
Okay.
TJ, Hot Wings will be describing things taken by airport security.
Okay.
Things taken by airport security. Bear in mind, I did not do scientific research on this, but I'm assuming that all of these things have been taken by airport security at one point or another. Are you ready, TJ?
I sure am.
Are you ready, Hot Wings?
Yes.
On your mark. Get set. Go.
This would be a Japanese implement, very sharp. You would swing this.
Katana.
Another word for a katana. What is a katana?
Sword.
And who would use that? What kind of
sword?
What's that?
Samurai sword?
Yes. You drink this. It's clear.
Vodka?
No. Regular. Everybody has it. It's got in your fridge.
Water?
Yes.
Yeah.
You would use this to loosen a wheel on a car.
Tire iron.
Yes. You would use this to ignite a cigarette.
Lighter.
Yes. This might be on a wall. A lot of kids have these on the wall of a band, maybe Hannah Montana, something like that.
Poster?
Yes.
Yes. This would be one of the 6 things on a musical instrument that Slash would play.
A string.
What kind of a string?
Guitar string.
Yes. This is what a jack-o'-lantern's made out of.
Pumpkin.
Yes. Barry Bonds swings one of these.
Baseball bat.
Yes.
Time.
I was laughing at your irritation with him guessing anything other than water because you said, this is clear, you drink this, and he said exact vodka, which is
clear and you drink
No, don't you know what I'm thinking?
No, I know.
Should have said H2O.
I should have, yeah.
That would have shortened the
It would have definitely. It would have definitely shortened it.
I thought that was going to derail you completely, and your recovery is actually somewhat remarkable. The fact that you got 8 after that brief notion of fussiness is fairly impressive.
That is actually a shock. TJ, you did excellent.
All right.
Thank you.
Now,
we don't need to play.
Joel and Eric Zane are up next. Hot Wings, you can look at the list.
How are you, Joel?
I'm good, man. I hope we got an easy list.
Yeah.
That
What do you mean it was pretty easy? Samurai sword was easy?
Yeah, that was easy.
I do think of the 2, that was the easier list, but sometimes it's hard to predict when people get on a roll.
Joel, how often do you smoke cannabis?
I do.
How often? When I ask how often, I do is not an appropriate answer. I think you've said enough.
Yeah, I think it was an appropriate answer for him.
Okay.
Joel?
Yeah.
Zane will be describing things bowl games have been sponsored by or named after either now or over the years.
Okay.
Really not funny, but...
Nah, I'm just thinking the other
You're
list
just
was
really
way
stoned.
easier.
Okay.
I picked the wrong one. All right.
Okay. Just
Things
shut
bowl
up.
games have been sponsored by or named after presently or in the past.
Okay.
On your mark. Get set. Begin.
Okay, this is a machine you use to after you mow the lawn to clean up the edges.
A blower.
No, it chops up not grass but dandelions.
Weed eater.
Yes, this is a company used to deliver parcels. White truck.
FedEx.
Yes. The statue of blank.
Liberty.
Yes. This is Stevie Ray Vaughan died in one of these. The blades spin on top.
Plane. Oh, helicopter.
Yes. Not a crocodile, but a
alligator.
Shortened version of that word.
That's good. It's good.
This is a The woman who sold was a character on the butter container had one of these on her head.
Pass.
Okay, this is hot in the sky. It heats the earth.
Sun.
Yes. This is the town where Batman beats up the robbers.
Gotham.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the name of a rubber company.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fiesta is the name of a rubber company?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, there's...
Oh.
Well, at least,
I didn't know
at least
that.
it was back in the day, man. You get yourself... when you were going high end, you get some Trojans or lambskins. And then when you're slumming it, you throw on a Fiesta.
What is it made of? Like a mitten?
It's saran wrap with a rubber band glued onto the end.
Joel, you didn't do too bad. You passed on Blue Bonnet,
That's
old Blue
old
Bonnet
school.
Bowl. That was very difficult. You did get the Weed Eater, the Poland Weed Eater Bowl. Not sure if it's still there. The FedEx Orange Bowl was just the other night. Liberty Bowl in Memphis. The Bell Helicopters Armed Forces Bowl.
Wow, I didn't know that.
The Gator Bowl, Sun Bowl in El Paso. The Gotham Bowl, I believe, was played briefly in New York City. Turns out teams didn't like going to New York City in the cold, but I think they're bringing back or they have. There's so many I can't even keep them straight anymore. And then Fiesta and Rose were the.
So I got 7.
You got 7, but
Yeah.
Hot Wings and Joel Hot Wings and TJ got 8. So Joel, thank you for playing.
All right, guys.
All right, buddy. And TJ, congratulations.
Too many bowl games, man.
There are over half of the D1 teams now make a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Over half.
Really makes you a
It's like
champion.
66 teams or 68 teams or something
When
like
you get
that.
into a bowl game with a 6-6 record, and then you finish 6-7 when you lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Some of them.
There's nothing shiny about that. There should be 5 bowl games.
A bit hollow. Even 20 is a good number because you would have to have a winning record to get in at that point.
Yeah, they still should keep the bowl games because it's always nifty to see, different teams from different conferences that never meet. That's always cool.
Yeah.
But they need that stupid playoff. Take the top 8 teams. What were there? 4 or 5 undefeated teams this year?
4.
Would have been
At
great.
least 4.
Would have been terrific.
By the
Just
way,
get on it. How hard is it? You'd still make a ton of money.
Boise State returns 21 of their 22 starters for next season.
Wow.
And they play at Virginia Tech, and I think they play Oregon State, and they play one other team that will likely be ranked in the top 25 when the season starts. So next year, considering they should start out ranked in the top 10, you actually could see Boise State win the national championship next year or compete for it.
Except the cowbell girl. She won't see it.
Oh,
people are still pissed about
with us.
That. Oh yeah.
Oh really? We got
number
hate
of
email?
emails. Yes.
I didn't see a 1.
Yes, I hope your eyes get gouged out. That was the one.
Oh, we got to read those, man. I need to see that immediately. That was awesome, man.
We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
The Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. 1-800-947-3979.
Get off my phone, you little pinhead! Get off my phone!
So last night, I was reading an internet blog, Hot Wings and Zane, about, it was entitled, The Day the Internet Made Fun of a Blind Girl. And it was about the thing that became internet wildfire from, I guess it would have been Monday night during the Fiesta Bowl when TCU and Boise State played at halftime. They showed the Boise State marching band, and this video is available in the video reel at freebeerandhotwings.com. And apparently a moment struck a lot of people. This is the magic of the internet, something that never would have happened. It would have been one of those things where you went to work and maybe somebody mentioned it and you go, oh, yeah, I saw that. And that would have been the end of it.
Yeah.
But being able to relive it and share it with people who didn't see it, the magic of the internet. And what it was referred to on the internet often as the most charismatic marching band member of all time. And it happened that this woman was blandly playing the cowbell in the percussion section of the Boise State marching band. And it stood out because the guy next to her was playing like crazy, and she's just going tap, 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 and it looked miserable. And so the internet, along with a lot of other people, jumped on it and got a big laugh out of it. We all did, and then towards the end of the show, we found out that she was in fact blind, and that was the reason for her facial expression, because she has no point of reference.
Do you want to hear the revelation on the air? Because it happened on the air that we had the revelation that she was blind.
Yes.
Okay.
And I, before we play this, I should say I did a little experiment. So I showed the video to my wife, who hadn't heard anything about it, and she laughed and laughed, and I said, she's blind. And so then it immediately sucked the fun out of it for her, too, to a degree, but then she did the same thing we did. And I say this because she's a nicer person than I am. She did the same thing we did. Well, it's still funny. It's just,
yeah,
it's just not supposed to be, but it is. It's still funny.
Yeah, it is.
Now, with this clip, I'm going to have to jump around a little bit to get to the key point, but I kind of opened it up on the fly. And she knows it. The camera pans on her, and she's like, yeah, I know why you're putting the camera on me.
Yeah.
Because I'm emotionless as I sit here with the worst job in the marching band.
Well, we talked about it earlier, and we talked about how she has a look on her face that tells the world, I hate this. I hate being here. And we got this email from Rich, who says, hey, just a heads up, Cowbell Girl has that expression because she is blind. Not sure you knew that.
She's not blind. She looks right at the camera, jerk.
I mean,
all them names. He's trying to help.
She is not.
There's no way she's blind.
I need to see that video.
Besides, her eyes look normal, and everybody knows that blind people, their eyes look stupid.
Stupid.
Well, I don't know. I mean, she could be blind.
She could be blind, but I'm not sure that being blind would cause that dour facial expression.
Well, I guess if you were blind, you'd have to really concentrate so you didn't accidentally slip off the cowbell and hit the xylophone.
I guess.
Really poor placement. They
Prevent
should move that.
That's the second salvo right there. Not as strong, but still an effective.
And sandwiched in between the salvos is my wrong statement of, well, being blind doesn't affect that.
Now
because later I thought about it and somebody pointed out to me, which made me think of it, that if you have no point of reference, I guess.
Yeah.
By the way, try for a moment to recreate her facial expression and the way that she's doing it. It is nearly impossible to recreate because you make a face that ends up being silly.
Yes. Now,
it's impossible.
What we have here is we have a unique moment right now because we're play-by-playing and armchair quarterbacking ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So
we've become self-aware.
Let's continue on.
Way a little.
I guess she could be.
She could be blind, but it's not her eyes that say I'm crippled with depression. It's the downturned, sad mouth.
Oh my God! How did somebody find out she was blind?
I don't know. Maybe they mentioned it in the broadcast.
And maybe I actually asked that guy. I go, how do you know that?
She's not in time anyway. She's no good at it.
She's not. You're right.
That's mean. She's just hitting it. She has no idea where she is. She's one of those people that's so blind it made her dumb.
No.
That's to me. This is when it's really absurd.
That's the preposterous line.
Yeah.
So blind, she's dumb.
And what
people don't understand is it's not like you really believe that. And so then that's why we get emails saying, I hope you go blind. I hope I get a chance to dig your eyeballs out and you get stupid blind eyes.
People get so pissed. It gets all screwed up.
Oh.
Wait a minute. We need to back up because Freeber went, She has no idea where she is. She's one of those people that's so blind it made her dumb.
No.
She's
By
like
the way,
the anti-Stevie Wonder.
She looks less dynamic because the guy next to her is going crazy on the xylophone and other percussion stuff. And she's got one job.
The guy next to her is jamming like Keith Moon. And
you can see this at freebeerandhotwigs.com.
Pretty good band. Oh, look at him. He's looking at her.
But, I mean, if she is blind, that doesn't... Whatever.
I think they are playing Louie Louie.
By the way,
they're playing Give Me Some Lovin'.
Is that what
in real time, if you don't think this struck a chord with the national consciousness on some level, go to YouTube and type Boise State Cowbell Girl or something like that. Because it wasn't one person that posted it or two or three that posted it, and then it caught fire. It's on there a billion times, and I watched about 8 different versions of people cutting it together with "Don't Fear the Reaper" from Blue Oyster Cult, and
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Who's the guy that did the? I gotta have more. I can't think of his name.
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken of his face saying, "I gotta have more cowbell."
I saw one Photoshop with her stupid face on Will Ferrell's body from the bit.
Either way, you need to see the video.
Holy cow. And what business, who does she think she is if she's blind, not wearing millsaps? You have to wear sunglasses if you're blind.
Well, not in her case, because you said her eyes are fine.
Well, I know, but still, when you talk to them, you always you get thrown off by what they're looking at, because you're talking to them, and they're looking over your shoulders like, hey, jerk, I'm talking to you.
If she wants to be treated fairly, then she better put some glasses on and stop looking ugly and milky.
If she wants to be treated the same, she needs to look different.
Yeah.
It's
according to now it's really gone haywire at this point.
Yeah. The round of Zane and Joe Tough Talk the Blind.
For her is milk ice.
From the guy who once suggested the blind do the world a favor, stay home and don't try.
Oh, look at
Here's
you talking.
Joe's latest suggestion.
You suggested that one lady should dig her eyes out with a melon ball when her son was listening. Don't give me that.
Yeah, and that was the best suggestion that you could give him.
Your mom
I didn't say she
dig her
should.
eyes
I
out
said
with
it
a
looked
melon
like
baller.
she did.
Yeah. Well, maybe she was trying.
Oh, man, that felt bad. I'm glad he laughed, because I wouldn't if I were him.
Yeah.
All right, so this caused all sorts of turmoil, apparently. This was a big problem.
There were some people who understood, and there was a man named Doug from Albany who must have tuned in for the first time.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And he wrote, I'm not familiar with your show, but I hope someone digs your eyes out with a spoon.
Aww.
So he's got that going for him.
Wow, man. Well,
now, Joe, you had a task yesterday that I don't know if I would call it enviable. Your job was to try, because why wouldn't she want to come on the radio with us? Your job was to get the blind cowbell playing girl who was made fun of by the internet as a collective on the air yesterday. And doing so was difficult because she's not listed in the Boise phone book as blind cowbell girl.
Nobody knows her name. I thought that with all these sports blogs and videos that somebody would know this person's name, but not a single person knew her name.
No, not one. So, well, I just started calling the college.
Right.
First, I called the music department, and I asked who their blind cowbell girl was.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, just the very nature of that call, if I were on the receiving end, would make me suspicious and not trust you. I don't know why.
Well, really, I mean, I assumed that everybody at that school knew what was going on, just like the rest of the world. So I really wasn't taking it too seriously because there's no way we're getting that sad girl on. And
but what a get if we could.
But the music department didn't know. So then I called the Department of Disabilities at Boise State.
Okay.
Because obviously they would know anyone with a disability.
Yeah, well, there's not too many of them. So I called and I told them I was with ABC's Nightline.
Oh, yeah, I know it. I'm sitting there in my back and I hear, "Hello, my name is Joe, and I am a producer with ABC's Nightline, and we're doing a show and he starts to struggle. I can sense it. He goes, "We're doing a upcoming segment on people with disabilities who are going on." And then he stopped. Going on. And there's something, and then I made Joe laugh or something happened. I think Majeski came in.
Oh my God!
Joe, there's a phenomenon where Joe will be on the phone or Freebie will be on the phone, and people walk in and talk loudly while it's actually physically held up to their ears.
Yeah, they walked in.
Check.
Mike walks in and goes with that.
Hey guys, Hot Wings. Your computer.
And then we're like, whoa, he's on the phone.
He's pretending he's from Nightline. No one at Nightline is named Hot Wings.
So
yeah.
Joe regroups himself. This person says, Joe goes, I'm sorry. That was weird. He's trying to like act like the phone cut out.
Yeah.
And then the person on the other end, didn't she say, so yeah, she like let you off the hook, didn't she?
Yeah, she,
because they want to believe.
She moved on and I gave her my, I thought I was like, oh, I'm in the clear. Sweet. Amazingly, she didn't even ask any follow-up questions. So I give her my name, my phone number, and she says, okay, well, I can't give information, but I'll pass it on. And she goes, and now tell me, let's see, you were doing a story on people with disabilities who have moved on to higher education? And I went,
yes.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
That's what I would have thought if I was prepared.
Oh, my God.
That's what I should have written down before I called.
Yeah.
You can email me at abcnightline@freebeerandhotwings.com.
Yeah.
So then
that's my email.
Joe gave us info, and Mike, the engineer, kept talking while Joe was doing that. And one, two, three, four, and that went on, and then that was it.
Joe called me to tell me about that conversation, and I started to justify. I said, yeah, she'll probably want, there's a good chance she'll have a sense of humor about this. And Joe goes, really? And I go, no, not really. She's not gonna
why would?
I believed it for a second, but why would she possibly think it's funny that the whole world laughed at how she looked while she played her instrument?
Well, we wouldn't address that. We would just gotten her on, And
then be like, so what's it?
Just pretended it didn't happen. That's the way it always works.
Like to be blind.
Hope she doesn't talk the same way she looks. Stupid.
What are you doing? Pointless.
It's awesome.
Reel it back in and cast it back out.
Hot Wings thinks. Hot Wings. What Hot Wings thinks.
Free Beer Zane and listeners, there are a number of reasons why celebrities are douchebags who are not like the rest of us. They're just not normal. They carry dogs and purses, and they wreck expensive cars more often than Michael Moore goes for seconds. And they get into beefs. Seriously, when was the last time you heard of two regular people who were engaged in a beef? Oh, sure, I realize there are family members and former best friends all over the place who don't talk anymore because some stupid occurrence that neither of them entirely remembers clearly, but no one calls it a beef. Just athletes and rappers, which brings me to the beef between boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. and rapper Rick Ross. Apparently these two babies have had a beef for a while and finally ran into each other while partying in Las Vegas over the weekend. They literally bumped into one another. Of course, with bangers in tow, who all instantly became confrontational. Of course, according to TMZ, the two children were close to throwing fists, but Diddy swooped in and saved the day.
Oh, God.
Nevertheless, what are you, 15? Hey, Mayweather, you're 32, and I have no idea how old Ross is, but he looks 50. Maybe it's time to grow up, stop cruising around with your 20-member hand-picked gangs or entourages or whatever you call them and concentrate on remaining undefeated or making music people actually want to listen to. Oh, somebody said something bad about me. I'm going to pout and stomp my feet and threaten to beat them up. Babies. If you're going to sock someone because you think they really deserve it, then just sock them. Quit measuring your D's with the useless chest bumping and flared plumage by way of muscular hangers-on. Real men don't act like you do. Hell, Hannah Montana is less of a baby than the two of you.
Yeah.
Celebrity beefs are both hilarious and sad, and I'm glad that I'll never actually be a celebrity. Like Michael Moore said, quote, whoa, who said beef? Yum. End quote. I'm Hot Wings, and that's what I think.
That's your new opinion from Hot Wings. More of the Free Beer and Hot Wings show is next. Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
Okay, turn over the radio really loud.
All right.
Okay. Nate, you said is 2?
Mm-hmm. He's 2.
Do you think he repeats things?
He does.
Nate, say Mom has a stinky beaver.
1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com. In about 30 minutes. So it's sort of breaking news. It's sort of confirming what everybody believes, but from a fairly reliable source about Tiger Woods. But it's a source you would have never connected to the case, because typically you wouldn't think a hockey coach who's never met Tiger Woods, as far as we know, would have any intimate knowledge about what happened way back when with Tiger Woods. What was that, the That was Thanksgiving evening, right?
Yeah.
Or the night before Thanksgiving, the night after Thanksgiving, whatever it was.
So.
It absolutely was.
That's a long.
Goes
a long
fast,
time.
It?
It does
I
go
can't
fast.
believe it.
So this has been burning its way up the internet. Joe pulled this. It is an ad for Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC as they're known these days, that aired in Australia. And it is it's one of those where they ask with a question mark, racist KFC advertisement. Now, Hot Wings, have you seen it yet?
I haven't.
Zane, have you seen it?
No.
I haven't seen it either. Joe, you saw it.
I did.
Okay.
Well, we'll wait and see what you thought of it. Because I'm curious to see, because I've seen this in a number of places, but I hadn't watched it yet. I'm curious to see how racist it is.
All right. Roll it.
It says Cricket Survival Guide.
KFC's Cricket Survival Guide, and that was all silent.
Need a tip when you're stuck in an awkward situation?
Too easy. KFC's Crowd Pleaser. A huge variety of delicious chicken and plenty of tasty sides.
Okay, here's what happened. Guy looks to be like wearing the KFC garb for over there. Is stuck, surrounded by black people.
It would appear to be like a bunch of Jamaican soccer fans or something.
And it's like he's in a crowd, and they're all enjoying themselves and going, dancing and singing, and a couple people were playing drums. And then in that stupid accent, he says something about you're in an awkward situation. In order to calm everybody down, he whips out a bucket full of chicken, and everybody calms down. I need to see that again.
Yeah. It seems a little
fishy.
questionable. That's one of those things where it's like, well, how do you even get to that point where you're thinking, yeah, this is the way to go?
KFC's Cricket Survival.
Need a tip when you're stuck in an awkward situation?
Too easy. KFC's Crowd Pleaser. A huge variety of delicious chicken and plenty of tasty sides.
Yeah, the awkward situation is he's the only white guy surrounded by black people.
And the only way to bridge the awkward gap is to give the black people chicken. That's what it says.
Or it could be maybe they're all... No, there's no other way to read this. This is horrible racism.
The thing is, now I don't know what the subtext would be because of Australian culture, but I think what he's wearing, I don't think it's KFC colors. I think it's supposed to be another team's colors.
Oh,
because it says Rugby Survival Guide, and I think cricket, and so obviously everyone else is rooting for the other team, and he's in the wrong section, I think.
Yeah, it would make it appear that his team. To me, it's reading into it. It looks like he's rooting for the wrong. He's like the only fan of one team, surrounded by fans of another team. Now they happen to be
and maybe the
black fans.
The Australian national team happens to be playing Jamaica because it does appear to be that.
Yeah, I mean they're playing steel drums and stuff. It looks so. I don't know.
Too easy. KFC's Crowd Pleaser. A huge variety of delicious chicken and plenty of tasty sides.
I mean, I don't know that they would have that stereotype in Australia. You would have to know that in order to know if it's racist or not.
But and because they may not have that stereotype, that may not have been a big deal. But here, if you wanted to do the same commercial, rather than having it be a white guy surrounded by all black people and then handing them chicken, you would have it be someone wearing uniform colors that are reminiscent of the Philadelphia Eagles surrounded by uniform colors of the Dallas Cowboys fans.
Yeah, you would just do it that way.
And they could be any color race.
Right.
That would make it look less weird.
That's their getaway there. That's what they can say to get away with it. But they don't need to in Australia because that whole damn country is racist.
It's a little bit more than...
Remember that video clip of Harry Connick Jr. on that variety show, and they show up in blackface?
In crazy, old school blackface.
It's blatant. And Harry Connick Jr. had to say, hey, what are you doing?
That's not cool.
That's what you do to black people here. Remember that?
It's funny.
This is Matt in Lima. Hi, Matt.
Hey, I was just letting you guys know that, Australia's having some big cricketing matches right now with, the West Indies and South Africa, who are, big powerhouses in the cricket world. And, the KFC spokesman said that if they were going to play England, who's also, a big cricketing nation, or India, they would have had, white people or, tan-skinned people. It's not... And it's just not as racist as it might appear to us.
How long have you been such an enormous cricket fan? That's the real question.
Actually, I don't really like cricket. I really like international soccer, and so I kind of get all this cricket news.
So because you like soccer, you also then get an interest in other sports that are important to the rest of the world, though not here.
Well, the same people I follow on Twitter tweet about cricket that tweet about soccer, so I
got you.
absorb some of it.
Yeah,
I got
actually makes sense.
That makes sense. Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
I think culturally, this is nothing there. I don't think.
Oh no!
I don't
They
think.
still hang people out in the street for looking at white women there.
I don't think they do that.
Doesn't
I don't
happen
think they do
enough.
that, but and I don't think they have the necessarily the same stereotypes there that they have here.
John in Massachusetts, you are Australian, yes?
I am indeed.
Okay, so are we? Am I right in supposing that none of these things are culturally? It's so different that this has no context there.
Yeah, it's totally different over there. I'd never heard the stereotype with the fried chicken until I moved to the States. So.
Okay, what about that clip of Harry Connick Jr. where the Australian host had to apologize for the blackface and they acted like it wasn't a big deal at all for them?
I don't know. I've been in the States for 10 years, so I kind of see it from an American point of view now, but I really don't think it would have been that big of a deal over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't meant with any malice in that case.
No, absolutely not.
I'm guessing not. Thank you, John.
Here it is. This is that the Australian host has to apologize to Harry Connick Jr. for the Blackface Jackson 5 bit.
I think we may have offended you with that act, and I deeply apologise on behalf of all of us, because I know that your countrymen, that's an insult to have a blackface routine like that on the show. So I do apologise to you.
Thanks, Darryl. And I just wanted to say on behalf of of my country, I know it was done in humorously, but we've spent so much time trying to not make black people look like buffoons that when we see something like that, we take it really to heart.
Yeah. Well, we don't, Harry, so beat it.
Yeah. Harry was in a bad spot with that, because if he didn't say anything, then when he comes back, all it takes is that to get leaked out on the internet and go, look at this. He's Harry Connick Jr. is a giant racist.
Well, especially, he's from Nolans,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and if he does say something, he disrupts their whole broadcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Which he did, and reasonably so. There were a time when racist ads were not only accepted, but fairly common.
Is this here, too? Is this for this? Because this next one here.
This is from here. Yeah.
This one's from 1960, from the 1960s, a Jell-O ad for the United States, here in the United States.
Back to present ancient Chinese pantomime, just for fun of it, Jell-O tonight. Back to present small Chinese type baby waiting for dessert.
It's cartoon. It's animation. It's Chinese baby, apparently, in a chair. Already
Chinese
weird.
mother, bling baby, Jell-O, famous Western delicacy.
Bling baby.
Bling baby. Oh, my God.
And this famous Western delicacy.
Yeah.
Chinese mother, bling baby, Jell-O, famous Western delicacy. Poor Chinese baby. He unable to tell if this Jell-O is strawberry, raspberry, jelly, orange, lemon, lime, apple, black raspberry, black jelly, or grape. Jell-O comes in all 10 flavors.
You said grape?
All the R's are L's in this.
Chinese mother, bling baby, great Western invention. Spoon. Spoon was invented for eating Jell-O. Baby find this is grape Jell-O. Deep, dark, delicious new flavor. Chinese baby very happy. So end ancient Chinese pantomime. Is pretty good commercial, no?
Oh, man, I'm surprised the Chinese don't kick more ass.
That's just such an odd commercial.
It is.
It's not odd that at that time you would have such a blatant stereotype. It's just odd that they would go in that direction at all. Hey, I got a great idea, guys, here on Madison Avenue. Let's make a cartoon where Chinese kids are eating Jell-O.
You know what I noticed? Eating Jell-O's hard with chopsticks. We got to do a bit about that in animation. Let's spend all of this year's ad budget, $120,000.
Because I'm telling you, more people in Peoria are going to eat Jell-O if they think Chinese kids like it.
Yeah, you're right.
Because at that time,
dumb angle.
Especially at that time in the early 60s, China was nothing. It was a lot of people and a rice paddy.
Yeah.
There weren't any cities there. It was nothing.
It was red China.
It was just, please.
Man.
Such an odd angle.
We need an ass kicking. We need an invasion based on that commercial alone with the 800 billion people that live there.
Though at this point, I'm guessing in the 60s, well, hell, when we were kids in the 70s and early 80s, they were still running the old Warner Brother cartoons that had horrible stereotypes of all sorts of people, black, Japanese, German, everything else.
Yeah, I remember seeing most of those when I was a kid. It's not just like new to me when I find something on YouTube. I go, oh, I remember this.
Well, the day we were watching the horribly racist Lazy Town cartoon,
yeah,
which
I
is
remember
all about,
that.
It shows it basically screams the stereotype of black people don't work. All of us had seen that on TV before. We saw it on YouTube.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah,
but this one from KFC, that one seems like people are applying American standards to something that wouldn't even exist. Like John from Australia said, that stereotype doesn't even exist in Australia. It's a mystery to them.
There was a Popeye cartoon, an episode titled "You're a Sap, Mr. Jap."
Oh, I believe that, man. That era and that character.
Oh man, well, I want to hear a little of this because we all know cartoons are hilarious.
Come on, you don't even need the credits there. Oh, this is wartime.
Propaganda stuff right there.
I actually really enjoy old propaganda cartoons. It's because I didn't live through that era. I'm fascinated by the whole concept because we don't have stuff like that now. We haven't in my lifetime.
I want a SpongeBob propaganda cartoon about Al Qaeda.
Yeah, or just attacking Muslims in general. That's what they do if we were going true to form here.
Give me something, Hollywood. Get on board. Bust me out some sweet propaganda.
Let's see. This is another one.
Oh, yeah, this is that Scrub Me Mama with a Boogie Beat.
From the people that brought you Woody Woodpecker, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Lazy Town.
Yeah.
This is the one you were talking about.
Unbelievable.
This sounds bad. Oh,
set in
wow.
the deep south.
Now that is a stereotype.
That couldn't be more racist. There is no gray area on that one. Only racist.
Holy cow.
In a moment, why would a hockey coach have exclusive knowledge about whether or not Tiger Woods got his face bashed in? His face, that is.
Yes.
Well, he does, and he shares. He's running his mouth on a Canadian radio show. We'll get to that next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
First in some cities, last in others. What are you going to do? The Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
1-800-947-3979. I don't know if we've ever specifically been last. You always beat somebody.
Yeah.
Like the rummage sales station or something like that.
Yeah, usually. Somebody that's just selling hubcaps on the radio. Maybe we beat that.
1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots at freebeerandhotwings.com. A little bit later on. Crazy story about a secret life. Not so different here. Tiger Woods was leading a secret life to some.
Please.
Slow jam.
Can you take your name off your phone? My wife went through my phone and made me call.
I heard Colin Cowherd from ESPN. That guy, he's smart, and he sometimes makes points where I had never thought of it before, and then I think, geez, that's a dead solid logic. And he made the point that it's a lot more difficult for people to bust people in individual sports because of their indiscretions than it would be for team sports. And he drew the comparison that because he was making the point that people had to have known Tiger Woods is anything but invisible. And over the years, he's had, obviously, lots of affairs. And so people that cover golf, other golfers, everything else, had to have known. And if it was a team sport, word likely would have gotten out. And he made the point that if A-Rod does something stupid, it's in the paper immediately. Because if you burn the bridge with A-Rod and you don't get access to A-Rod anymore, fine, you talk to Jeter or Posada or anybody else on the Yankees.
Right.
But with Tiger Woods, you lose him, you lose anything interesting about the PGA. That's a pretty good point. That's a pretty good point.
Pretty much.
He said sometimes in team sports you get an athlete that's that way, like LeBron James. if you take him away from covering the Cleveland Cavaliers, there's not a lot left to talk about. No disrespect. The same thing with Michael Jordan back in the day. If you lost access to Michael Jordan, you lost access to almost everything that was interesting about the Chicago Bulls when they were dominant.
Now, when it comes to the timeline, I have a question, because that call about Woods made to, God, I forget her name now.
Rachel Uchitel.
That, right there.
I think that might have been to Jamie Grubbs, but either way.
Yeah. It was Grubbs, I remember now. That was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think it was like a week before or early in that week, like Monday or Tuesday.
Didn't she eventually call? Actually used the number she got and called? And the name wasn't off the phone?
Well, that was the rumor, so much of that stuff that was out there was that Grubbs told a friend that she got a call from Elin, and when Grubbs said, "Who's this?" Elin said, "You know who this is. You're blanking my husband."
Okay. So
reasonable response.
But it still took the next incident, which we're about to describe, for her to blow her stack.
Yes, a lot of people have wondered and speculated about what happened on Thanksgiving evening that made the you-know-what hit the fan. Because obviously Elin had known about some of these, as illustrated by that cell phone call, that there was stuff going on for quite a while.
There was the talk about the golf club. There was Woods was injured in the face, but there was no blood in the vehicle.
Right. And the airbags didn't go off. It just, none of it added up. And that was the first thing everybody said that Friday when that news broke. Wait a minute. So he was unconscious and lying there, but the airbags didn't go off, and he was leaving his driveway and he didn't have shoes on? This doesn't make sense.
We find out after the fact that Ambien had a lot to do with the unconsciousness.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that he was a little disoriented and stuff like that. Well, of all things, apparently an alleged source of information is former National Hockey League coach Pat Burns, who now is largely retired and makes his residence in Florida.
Well, he's definitely not an alleged source. He's a source of alleged information.
That's an accurate way to say it.
He is a source.
He definitely is saying things. I guess what he's saying is allegedly true, but I'm inclined to believe him based on he apparently worked in law enforcement before he became a hockey coach, and then he lives in Florida, and so he has friends that are part of the police force.
One who actually was in on the call that fateful night.
Here are the details according to Deadspin.com. That they have, Burns said an old friend in the highway patrol was among those who went to Wood's home on the night of the crash. So if I were an officer, I wouldn't talk publicly, but I would tell my friends, and if Burns is an old friend, I'd tell him. Here are the details as he told them to a radio station in Montreal. After dinner, this is on Thanksgiving, Tiger Woods watched football in the living room while sending text messages to Rachel Uchitel, the famous blonde. Whenever he received a message from her, he would erase it. Meanwhile, one of his friends based in Orlando called and said, "Hey, let's play some poker." About 7:30, he went to change, then left. Forgot his cell phone on the coffee table in the lounge. Rachel did not know this and continued to send text messages. Elin saw the message. Probably got more and more angry. I'm adding that on my own. He says, when he returned at around 11:30 or midnight, she was waiting at the door. And when she asked what it was, these messages, and who was this woman? According to Burns, Woods went up to the second floor of the home wearing a T-shirt and shorts. He kept saying there was nothing there. He went to watch television. Then suddenly, bang, a 9-iron in the face.
She smashed his face in.
According to Burns, the hit caused a large cut in Wood's cheek and knocked out 2 of his chiclets. He left the house running without shoes. Elin followed him with the club.
Jesus.
He left in his Escalade. She followed him and broke 2 or 3 windows. That's why he hit the tree. And by the way, doesn't that all make perfect sense for what happened?
That's exactly what I guessed.
That's what the Chinese did in their recreation.
It is.
They actually did that.
It was perfect, yeah.
It was exactly right. They had it all figured out.
They did. They showed
because they eat Jell-O.
Yeah.
And that's why Tiger Woods has been absolutely invisible.
Right.
Because you don't want to go on, and she's not having charges pressed against her, so you don't want to, and I'm sure he doesn't want to go on TV and have his teeth. I hope when he comes back he has Matt Dillon from Something About Mary teeth.
Well,
hope they're big and crazy.
Well, and that's why he didn't want to talk to the cops for 4 or 5 or 6 days.
That's what the article says. The article goes on to talk about that. They said that
that was speculated at the time too. Yeah,
that they took him to a hospital in Orlando. Elin was in the ambulance with him, and she called his agent. He suggested that they meet at the hospital. Once there, the doctor said he needed plastic surgery to repair the busted teeth, but only one place could do it properly based on what had happened to him. That was in Phoenix. The agent apparently got the jet warmed up. Can you imagine what a life? Just go fire up the jet. Tiger's got to go to the dentist.
He's there in 2 hours.
$70,000 to fly to Phoenix to get your face fixed because you got bashed in the skull with your own 9-iron.
Ooh. Man, this is something.
It's certainly, well, let's face it. We all believe that what Pat Burns says is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So it takes a former hockey coach in the NHL to bring this all to light publicly.
I'm further reading on the article. It says that since then, 18 women have been linked. 18? I've been so not paying attention to this now that I didn't realize 18 women have been linked to him.
Once it got to a baker's dozen, I kind of checked out on the number of women. I do know that on the Daily Show, Jon Stewart was pointing out that the New York Post made a calendar of Tiger Woods women. And he made the point that if you're going to have illicit affairs, maybe keep it under enough for a calendar so that they can't stick it to you in such a manner.
Wow. That is something. Man. Yeah, she busted his teeth out.
That's, sir. Great.
Well, it is great. And, here she is doing her thing. And Woods, she could have been charged with assault, for God's sake.
Absolutely.
For sure. No doubt about that.
But
in fact,
that's not going to happen.
If this were somehow alleged the other way around, that she was having affairs and he had struck her, there would be a whirlwind of howling for him to go to prison.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Of course.
But since it's not,
it's different.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Who cares? Whatever.
There's a double standard.
There is, and there should be.
That said, I don't ever want to get hit in the face with a golf club by my wife.
Tough.
I'm hoping I never deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
She just smashed his face in.
What odd poetic justice stuff. If one of us did that, it would just be like headphones or something.
Right.
Man, I kind of smarted, but
we could take calls from scorned women who kicked ass after the fact.
Oh, I bet you there's plenty.
Let's get some ass kicking stories on the. I want to hear some. Frying pan in the face.
I like the
iron. Taking an iron and swinging it by the cord like a medieval weapon.
I like the idea that he's kicked back watching the NFL going, God, the Broncos suck. These games that are on Thanksgiving suck.
I can't believe
Honey, bring me some Fritos. And then bam, right in the face.
I can't believe he was that careless, though. Not only to have that number of affairs, but not to give the other chick a heads up. Hey, well, of course, she probably thought he was taking his phone with him. But the fact that he must have had an OS moment while he was playing poker.
Hey, where's my phone?
Uh-oh.
I wonder if that's why he came home from poker so early, because I would think a poker game that starts at 8 o'clock at night would often last well past 11:30.
Jeez.
Who knows? Fun story, though. You think Tiger was leading a double life? A story from suburban Detroit of a woman who just went to some counseling about her mother's death, and the therapist said, the more you talk about your marriage, maybe you want to dig a little.
Uh-oh.
Wait till you hear what she found. That's next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
The Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Don't feel bad. Everyone turns the show down at work when the guys start talking about bowels. The Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
That's us. In a moment, we'll get to the story about what the woman found out about her marriage when her therapist said, maybe you need to shine some light on your marriage, when she was at the therapist for a completely different reason. You do not want to find this out about your marriage. That's a fact. Jeremy in Nashville joins us. We were talking in the last segment about how Elin Nordegren smashed Tiger in the face with a golf club, according to former NHL coach Pat Burns, who knows the police officers who were there that night. Jeremy, turn your radio down, okay?
Yes, sir.
Jeremy, your mom whipped some ass.
Yes, sir.
At some point. What happened?
Well, I was awoken to a disturbance, right?
Yeah.
And when I went out to the outside where it was all going on, her ex-old man had her around the throat with his hands, choking.
Oh, man.
Well, she sunk one of her thumbnails off into his eye, trying to dig his eye out, right?
Oh, like what you do to a gator or a shark.
Did she have a long thumbnail?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, when he let go of her naturally, right?
Right.
Well, she looked over and there was a 2x4 laying at the end of the house. Well, when she went to go for the 2x4, she just so happened to work for a funeral home, right?
Right.
Well, she set up them large tents for to set up when they do the grave sides and stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, there's one of them 3-foot metal tent stakes are laying beside that 2x4.
Uh-huh.
Well, needless to say, she figured, well, I'll grab it because I can hold on to it better. Well, time it was all said and done with, she busted every rib down his right side, broke his arm in 5 spots. She was going for his head, but he got that arm up. When she got that arm up, well, needless to say, y'all know what come after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Busted the arm.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, she beat the holy hell out of him.
So she was dominating at this point. He's beaten to a pulp, right?
You're right. My grandmother was living with us, right? She was blind. Well, after it was all said and done, my mom was coming back in. She said, I heard him going to screaming, and I knew Edie had him then.
My God. There you go. That's what happens. Thank you, Jeremy.
No problem.
All right, buddy. 1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots at freebearandhotwings.com.
That is terrific.
So if we'll be looking for your calls if you're leading a secret life. I'm always fascinated by this. We've done this a number of times over the years. And when we've had people who've called, and, it could be a variety of different things. If we get a call from someone who's doing something like this, that would be extra fascinating.
Okay.
This past August, 51-year-old Faye Miller, who lives in Rochester Hills near Detroit, not far from where you guys grew up.
Right next door.
51 years old. Had a pretty good life. And her therapist, whom she was visiting because she was dealing with grief of her mother passing away, said, I think you need to examine your marriage. She was married to a man named Kenneth Mitchell. They met in the late 1980s when they were co-workers at an environmental laboratory in California.
So she was just like getting some typical, getting her head checked after something traumatic happens.
Sure.
And starts giving some of her history that she thinks is benign enough that the therapist says, what's up with that?
Yeah, and
that
apparently
seems out of the ordinary.
Apparently it took some pretty good nudging on the therapist's part because she was hesitant to do so because she was at least at that moment convinced that she was content in her married relationship and she was upset about other things, she thought. And again, they met in the 80s. She said that she found him charming and mysterious, that he was like a big teddy bear but very independent. Mitchell told her that he had once played for the San Francisco 49ers, though in this case, the Detroit Free Press, where we got this article from, they said they could not find any record of his employment with the team or that he had ever been drafted by the team. They were together the next 10 years. They both started working on advanced degrees, sometimes living together, sometimes apart. She earned a doctorate in education. He graduated from medical school. Fast forward. She, upon being urged by the therapist, first didn't want to do it and then eventually sat down at the computer and said, all right, well, what can it hurt to look?
I can't believe she didn't rush to the computer when the therapist first urged this.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's what people do initially whenever they meet anybody, is look their name up.
I'm guessing she had put up some blinders, because when you hear some of this stuff, you're going to say, well, man, what? Mm-hmm. Why did anyone have to tell her to be suspicious?
I bet.
Her husband of 10 years, Dr. Kenneth Mitchell, a Metro Detroit podiatrist, she found out when she started looking through Google and phone records that they had that he was in fact married when they got together in 1999. In addition, in 2003, while they were married, he married a woman in Quebec, another podiatrist.
One of these guys. How do they pull it off?
And it's all done usually for financial gain, right? Whenever they polygamous.
I guess not all the time. I mean, maybe somebody's just got in their brain. Maybe they find people and they think they're in love with all these people. I don't know.
I've heard of that, and I've also heard some that just look at opportunistically and
I think
marry several and take advantage in certain ways. So let's say
I'm sure
she wishes
has money.
She wishes she was polygamist. At least then somebody else would help out with the housework.
Mm-hmm.
But she knew her husband Kenneth Mitchell as a practicing Protestant who belonged and was active in the Lutheran church they attend. When she did a Google search, she found out that he had converted to Islam in 2002 and taken the Arabic name of Mustafa and had traveled twice to Saudi Arabia on religious pilgrimages.
Holy cow.
Mitchell, who operates several podiatry clinics in Metro Detroit, declined through his attorney to talk to the Free Press.
Several. He has
she
several
says, I thought he was working a lot of hours away at medical conferences. So that's what, because he would obviously be gone for long periods of time and unexplained distances and stuff like that.
Wow.
She is seeking an annulment of their marriage because, in fact, since he was still married when they got married, it's an invalid marriage anyway.
All right, this is stupid. She's stupid. There's no way she's not. She has to be touched in some way.
She says that...
Seriously.
Miller said she learned in 1997 that Mitchell had been having an affair with a woman named Shazia Malik, a Canadian podiatrist. This guy really likes to keep his work within the field of podiatry.
Yeah.
He reassured her it was over. They went into counseling, and in 1999 they got married. Miller, then 41, had 2 children with her afterwards and eventually opened the 4 clinics. He was gone and often not accessible by phone. That should have been an indication of something a little bit squirrely, right?
Yeah, the other stuff, I mean, I guess I could kind of buy if, she has nothing to do with foot care and he's going to conference. I mean, that's pretty normal for medical people. They go to conferences and stuff,
So
whatever.
sure.
But to not be phone available, that's a big red flag.
Certainly by the year 2000, particularly for a podiatrist, someone who made a pretty good amount of money, cell phones were pretty common.
Well, he certainly would have had a great pager.
Yes.
And she found this all out by Google searches?
Google search and phone records, yeah.
Wow.
So then, remember
Man,
September 11th, 2001, one of the knee-jerk reactions that I think almost everyone in America had was, regardless of where you live, it was to call people you know and just sort of touch base with them. That was one of the things you do to cope.
Yeah.
I know I called my wife at work that day because I just wanted to talk to her. And I'm guessing a lot of husbands and wives did that exact same thing. Even though you knew they weren't in harm's way, you just needed to hear their voice because of the emotionally traumatic moments you're witnessing on television or for some people seeing in person. She called her husband. It took him 2 days to get back to her.
2 days?
But by the early part of this past decade, by 2003, 2004, she said that she started to accept her lonely life as a parent that was a stay-at-home mom, knowing that part of her lifestyle came to her because her husband worked so hard and traveled to all of these conferences.
Now, was he was he a radical type of Al Qaeda Muslim or?
Nope. Nope.
Just
converted. Now he has an explanation for all this, by the way.
He
which
does?
we'll get to. Yeah.
What's the explanation other than I'm a giant
Crazy.
jerk?
I'll get to that. In the last week of August, she did log on to the family computer and started looking. That's when she found out that there were papers in California that he did not file for divorce from his first wife until long after he had married her. And then she knew her stuff was invalid. She began sorting through her husband's cell phone records, and she found repeated calls to Canada. She called, and the voice on the answering machine said, hey, you've reached the phone of Malik and the Canadian wife.
Mm-hmm.
She went, Malik sounds like my husband. That seems weird.
Yeah.
So she called the wife in Canada and said, I think you're married to my husband. And then they started talking, and then dots started connecting.
So this Canadian woman had no clue either.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, come on now. I mean,
but she has an explanation, too.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. She said she sometimes wondered whether her husband was having an affair. He was away from their home a lot attending these conferences, and he would say he was at night hospital rounds. I didn't know podiatrists did rounds in the middle of the night. Are there a lot of foot emergencies that I don't know about?
I didn't know that podiatrists did a lot of rounds in the middle of the night at the hospital. I didn't know that either. But.
Mitchell's explanation, by the way, the husband says that based on court records, this is all a misunderstanding. Easily explained.
It's like, honey, no. Honey, no. No, I'm a podiatrist. No, I'm Lutheran. You believe me? What do you think? Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. No, it's all not true. Don't believe a word of it.
No, of course. I have to go to conferences all the time because there's always advancements in taking care of toenails.
Right. I'm going to be at a bunion conference for a month. We're not allowed cell phone calls.
Yeah, there's a lot of new techniques that can be screwed up by cell reception.
He's so stupid. He married some of the stupidest women on the planet. That's what happened. He got lucky.
Very easy to explain on his part, he says. He says that he thought his divorce was final from the woman in California when he got married. That seems impossible since records show he hadn't filed for it yet.
I've got an explanation.
It's not like Iran where
my
you
dog
just go,
ate it.
I divorce you, and it's done. There are things that need to happen.
When you get married, why isn't there a check that goes down? Like when you file for a marriage license, isn't the place where you file, don't they like make sure you're not already married? Isn't that?
I would have thought so, but maybe they only check for that state.
Yeah, I think state to state there's not a lot of communication.
No. Well, he says so that explains the California wedding. That makes sense, right?
No, but
sure, but
in
okay.
his mind,
all
right,
right, fine.
He said
he screwed up.
The Islamic wedding to this woman Malik in Canada is easily explained. 100 people in attendance at this wedding in Toronto. That was a sham. He did that as a favor for this woman because her parents were trying to force her into prearranged marriage with another man because of their Islamic beliefs. That is why, as a favor, he converted to Islam and made 2 religious pilgrimages to Saudi Arabia and had this other life.
Oh, well, that makes
friends helping friends.
That makes perfect sense. This guy's nice.
And did the dumb bride, the first one that we talked about, who found all this out recently, go, okay, good enough for me?
I guess so. Now this woman Miller is a former college professor. She says her life as she knows it is over. That's probably good for her, though. But man, it's one of those things where when I read this, like you guys are saying now, I'm like, well, how could you not have seen some of the signs? You're burying your head in the sand.
Yeah. She must have that disease, like when you forget everything. Kind of like that guy in
Memento.
In Memento, yeah. That's right. She has no idea what's going on.
Until they tattooed it on her forearm that her husband was married to 2 other women, and on the other arm it said he also is an Islamic fundamentalist, not a Lutheran, that she went, what's this?
Oh, my gosh.
What a bizarre case.
Wow.
In a moment, we've heard about the tightened airport security. Wait until you hear what one TSA worker confiscated from a woman and her child.
Okay.
And also, have you seen the scans, those body scans people don't like? What some of the complaining has been that people don't want the body scans to end up on the Internet. People say, well, it won't, but we've got one to show you on the Internet of the difference between a 250-pound woman and a 120-pound woman.
Sweet.
Bonus, you don't want to be the big woman.
Well, hot.
You probably didn't need the body scan to figure that out. We'll get to that next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
I get paid a lot of money to tell you that this is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
A bouncer in Birmingham hit me in the face with a crescent wrench 5 times. And my wife's boyfriend broke my jaw with a fence post. So if you don't buy a trailer from me, it ain't going to hurt my feelings.
In about 35 minutes, we'll be playing Dumber Than Zane Trivia, presented by Cat Footwear. And when we play that, someone will have a chance to win $2,400. Could be you if you get through when the time comes. That'd be pretty sweet. If you get through, you get a new pair of shoes or boots from Cat Footwear just for being the contestant. We've got a number of things to get to. Sort of the next 2 segments are kind of headlines-based in that there could be a variety of stories that we get to. Airport security has obviously been a lot of talk because of really the failings of the security and by simply good fortune, the fact that there wasn't a plane blown up on its way into Detroit or on its way to Detroit on Christmas Day. It was truly good fortune when you hear of all the things that were missed. So many red flags.
Yeah.
And so there's been a lot of talk about that in the increased screening, and this woman was trying to go through screening, and TSA decided to confiscate something, and this is her story.
Nathan has the empty Play-Doh packaging from the Play-Doh that was confiscated in New Orleans by the TSA last week. I had the kids and my husband was kind of there with all our bags, and Josh and I were sitting getting our shoes on, and my husband kind of motioned to us and said they took our Play-Doh. And the man from TSA was taking every can out at a time and putting it on their little table.
Well done.
And Josh saw, and he started fussing, and I tried to explain that those were the rules, but it turns out it's not prohibited on the TSA's website. So apparently those aren't the rules. And it's just really hard to go through security in general with children, much less the child whose favorite toy has been taken away. I'm happy to obey the rules. I just wish the rules were more in stone, and if they involve kids especially.
So sorry. We don't have it perfected. Shut your stupid hole, you dumb bitch. Damn it!
Well, you're awful fussy.
Can you believe that?
Actually,
I am so fed
I
up.
can believe that.
Can you believe that she's that? I mean, I can't believe that she's offended.
She actually doesn't sound that wound up to me. She just said, "I wish the rules were more clear so that we knew what we could and couldn't bring."
We don't have any rules yet because of the fact that this is almost like a work in progress. It seems because of the changing layers that the terrorists are bringing. So many different things. They're almost like they're ahead of us half the time.
But there are rules. If you go to the TSA website, if you go to fly, you can look at everything that's banned.
I understand that.
Because there have been times where I go, oh, I can't take this. I can't take this. Oh, this needs to go in my checked luggage so they can scan it. And so, I mean, I actually see her point where that would be a little frustrating. She didn't sound that wound up to me.
What gets it to me is the fact that she is not understanding that this is, after what had happened recently, everything is going to be amplified and intensified, and there's going to be things that just don't seem kosher. Like, boy, that seems weird. They're taking Play-Doh. But to even say a word about it to anybody is pointless. Why even bother? Just go on and know that they're doing their job. I want my TSA people taking everything even remotely that could possibly even be suspect. If he takes my L.A. looks, oh, well, I was dumb for bringing that on. I can see it. Go ahead. Sweep with a broad general stroke. Take everything. I don't care. I want my plane safe. That's all I want.
I can say that for my wife and I, when we were getting ready to travel after this happened, we just made, and this seems like a simple plan. Now, we don't have kids. That complicates things a little bit more because you want to take things to keep them entertained on the plane. But we just said, well, if there's anything even remotely questionable, but I think I need it, I'll put it in my checked luggage. And if they needed Play-Doh at their final destination. Now, that said, I can see her frustration if it's not on the list and all of a sudden it gets taken away, but, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure she probably thought that was something that was actually good, something small, didn't make noise, that the kid could play with on the plane to keep him occupied. And then you may have chosen something else if you didn't know. I mean, it should be kind of obvious because it's not necessarily, it's not technically a liquid, but it falls into that kind of squishy category.
At this point,
you know, I didn't think she sounded overly wound up about it.
I think that at this point, for her to even decide to bring Play-Doh on, for them to even say, yeah, let's go with this and not being careful is, I can't believe in this day and age, after what happened on Christmas, that anybody would even think that, of course they're going to think that could be something, clay, plastique, anything. It could be suspect.
I'm not
sure. That is diligent work by the TSA there, and I hope that happens more.
I'm not sure it's a good idea, though, to have each individual TSA agent being able to just make their own judgment call on what's good and what's not good. I don't think that's the way to go.
What's the worst that could happen? They take stuff.
No, I actually think that's I do think it's I think it's bad. Usually I'm not for, zero tolerance policies and all that, or it has to be this, or like strict definitions. But in this case, you do need strict definitions because there have been plenty of times where I've flown out of one airport, and I've even said this to people. I go, at this airport, I always know I can take this.
Yes.
But if I'm coming back, I can't take it because that airport won't let me.
Right.
Like, I know which airports I can get away with stuff, and I don't fly that much. You think a terrorist doesn't know which airport they can get away with stuff? They have to have rules so that it's blanket for everyone on everything.
I honestly
whatever
believe
it is.
that we're going to come to a day after a plane gets blown up out of the sky that you will be able to have nothing for a carry-on. The searches will be rather extravagant, and every single bag will be opened and examined very closely. And the costs will be through the roof, and the delays will be numerous and long.
I think that's possible.
We had gotten an email from somebody that said in Israel the way it goes in order to throw terrorists off is you tell the airlines or the government where you want to go. You don't book, like, if we're going to book a flight, when we go to Daytona, we chose a time, we chose an airline, we chose we chose which airports, we got to choose which stops we'd make between here and there. Apparently in Israel, the way it would work is you would say, I would like to go to Daytona. And then near the day of travel or the day of, that wasn't clear, you get a call or a letter that says, here is your airport, here is your departure time, here is your ticket. Be there. So that there's not an ability to plan because there's no published listing of times and departures and everything else.
And I once read that's the safest airport in the world.
Oh, I
Probably
believe
is.
that.
Yeah.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
1-800-947-3979. Pat in Wilmington listening on Surf 98.3. Hi, Pat.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
What do you say?
Well, first off, is it Kablooey, Shabooby, what is it?
Kaboobie?
Kaboobie.
Never mind.
It doesn't matter.
Forget it. It's old. No one's talking about it.
Look, the bottom line is that Play-Doh looks like plastic explosive. With green or blue or red coloring in it, it's ridiculous for anyone to think that they can carry Play-Doh.
That's what I thought, too.
Joke.
It does seem a bit surprising that she would have thought about it. But again,
so it serves her right.
I doubt she even thought about it. I bet she just threw it in the bag and, because to her it's innocent.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, to most people, I was going to say most moms, but I'll just say most people in general, probably don't know the similar characteristics of plastique to Play-Doh.
Well, the onus is on them. If they don't know what could be, well, then there is no reason to ever say a word about anything taken.
Agreed, but now she knows, and now everybody knows. I mean,
yeah.
We almost had a plane drop out of the sky in Detroit. This is ridiculous. And how many years after 9/11 are we now?
Yeah. And I was watching one of the cable news channels last night, might have been Fox, and they were talking to Bob Kerrey, who was on the 9/11 Commission, and what was striking was how many of the recommendations they made in that would have helped to stop, and how many times they mentioned the sheik that this guy was influenced by. I think it was 25 times in that document, and that document was basically printed off and then wadded up and set aside.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
scary.
Every detail about this latest incident is exactly like Richard Reed, which happened 8 years ago. It's exactly the same. Everything. I mean, it's one thing if they throw a wrench in it, but it was we haven't tried this in a while. Let's try it again. All the same kind of explosive and everything.
This guy runs the show for us on WQLZ. He's Zane's favorite conspiracy theorist.
Oh, nice.
I find
he does our videos, too. Hi, Greg Bishop.
What's going on, guys?
Hi, buddy. What do you say?
No conspiracy theories this time around, but some people over in Britain are raising questions for these full body scanners.
Yeah.
As far as children are concerned.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys kind of think about what the implication is here. What do you think of this?
You're going to have to fill in the blank for me.
Yeah, actually, you might as well just tell the story, because otherwise, I mean, we can do it, but you obviously know it better.
You know it better.
Here's the story. Ministers over in Britain are now facing the possibility that these full-body scanners could very easily breach child porn laws.
Wow. To me, they just don't.
Wow. Hot.
I mean, they just don't. I mean,
no,
wasn't the Supreme Court ruling on pornography? I don't know what it is, but I know it when I see it. Or that was one of the comments that was made by one of the judges a long time ago.
Yeah.
This one, I know it's not porno, but someone will use that as a defense, I suppose.
But that's the thing. I mean, you do see a definitive outline. Of course, it's not detailed. I mean, for me personally,
not like the kid bent over grabbing his butt cheeks with a put it here look on his face. The kid's got his hands over his head. And they're scanning to see his organs.
Yeah, to me, at that point, based on what the images are, when you take away all facial features and other body features, proportionally, a kid might as well be an adult. I mean, if you were to take away perspective on height and everything, I mean, it might as well be the same thing. So
This is audio of a TSA agent breaking up a scuffle in Britain.
You pushed me.
Boys, we can settle this like reasonable and sexy teenagers. Whoever can swallow the most Tylenol PM wins.
Oh, no.
Very, very, very effective since the train bombing.
Yeah.
Bishop, thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
You got it, man.
Okay, see ya.
1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots at freebeerandhowigs.com. Howigs, you're exactly right about the photographs. I mean, just based on perspective, unless they put the scan of a child next to the scan of an adult, you can't tell which is which.
Proportionally, they'd be basically the same. So.
Diaper commercials are more dangerous to children's welfare when it comes to pedophiles lurking.
Man.
Yeah.
In a moment, in the next part of headlines, Heidi Fleiss is in trouble for something she said on British celebrity Big Brother. By the way to go, Brits. You're digging deep on celebrities if you got an American scandal chick.
Yeah, no kidding. They dug up Heidi Fleiss from America. She can't be a huge person in Britain.
Was that a big story there? The fact that she led a bunch of call girls? Wow!
I certainly wouldn't have thought so. But,
also, in headlines in the next segment, 2 networks are about to bust out a 3D channel that you'll be able to watch in your home by the end of this year, if you have the right equipment and stuff. And then, Bruce Pearl, one of my favorite college basketball coaches, one of my favorite coaches. He's the head coach of the men's basketball program at the University of Tennessee, dealing with some adversity and poor word choice at a press conference. We'll have that for you in a moment. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hotwig Show.
Email the show, idiots at freebeerandhotwings.com.
Frank, what is the named line of latitude running through Kenya?
Be the Tropic of Cancer?
Incorrect.
I wouldn't even have thought Tropic of. I would have just said, like, equator. But I'm going to say Tropic of Capricorn.
It's not correct.
Oh!
Gosh, what is it?
Equator.
3 attack!
It's moments like that make Dumber Than Zane Trivia a pretty big appointment for a lot of people. We're playing it today because we'll be off tomorrow and Friday.
Yeah.
Zane and Steve on their way to Florida to take part in the AT Marathon and the runs that are going to be going on the air for the AT Children's Fund. Ataxia telangiectasia. My wife's having a surgery, so I'm off. Hot Wings and Joe show fulfilled their one-segment obligations yesterday.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Yep. And so then Monday it'll be me, Hot Wings, and Joe.
Yes.
Steve and Zane will still be gone, then the full crew back on Tuesday. So Dumber Than Zane happens today. In fact, we'll be looking for a contestant not too far away, in fact. We'll be trying to find that person.
When do people...
Not now.
When are they supposed to call?
We'll invite calls in about 8 minutes.
So the phones are literally on hold?
They will be.
Then?
Right now you could still call, but I guarantee 3 out of every 4 calls that Steve answers is someone saying, I'm ready to play. Mm-hmm. For the record, we've said this many times over the years. To be a contestant on Dumber Than Zane Trivia, when we say call, you just have to be caller number 8, and then you get a new pair of shoes or boots from Cat Footwear, and then you have a chance to win the money. Today, $2,400. Emailing a week before or calling and saying, I'm ready to play, here's my phone number, call me back, has never and will never work.
Nope.
There are no exceptions to that rule.
And yet, as many times as we say that, every week we get one. We got one this week, pleading a sob story, saying, but I'm awesome at trivia, you have to let me play.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Telling us you got questions right when you listened and played along in your car does not make you any more qualified than anyone else. I guarantee everybody listening has thought, I could do this.
Everybody who plays thinks they're great at trivia.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they are, often they're not.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have that chance for you to play a little bit later on. The number of other things in headlines we want to get to. One is a story that's happening in Knoxville, Tennessee, a place where we lived. And it's an athletic program that I grew an affinity for when we lived there, the University of Tennessee. I loved their football program, loved going to games there. Used to like going to basketball there, but when we were there, they were always good. They always won 20 games, but they were never good enough. And so then they brought in Bruce Pearl, who's a very charismatic coach, very likable guy, and he's taken that program to the next level. But on Friday, they were dealt a pretty big blow, and 4 of their players were suspended from the team indefinitely because of weapons and drug charges that are pending. According to a police report, Knoxville police officer stopped a car for speeding. The officer reported smelling a strong odor of marijuana when he spoke to the driver. They requested backup in a canine unit. The dog alerted officers to the presence of pot. The car was searched. They found a handgun under the driver's seat, a handgun with an altered serial number under the passenger seat, a bag of marijuana, and an open container of alcohol.
Oh, jeez, guys.
So the 4 players, Cameron Tatum, Melvin Goins, Tyler Smith, and Brian Williams, were all suspended by the coach and the program. So Bruce Pearl went on to have a press conference about the challenges they will face when they take on Charlotte tonight in the basketball game after these players were suspended for drugs and weapons charges as a result of those. And the press conference is normal coach talk for about the first 40 seconds, and then you will hear the moment where word choice ends up being a problem.
Oh, man, I don't know what happened. I'm actually really anticipating now.
The task at hand, it's formidable. Charlotte is a team that comes in with a 10-3 record. They've got a signature win, a very dominating win over Louisville. They just came off a game the other night where they had a lead over Georgia Tech under 2 minutes to play in the game. They played 13 guys in that game, 5 or more minutes. They've got a very deep roster, and they're big, they're athletic, they're well coached, and if that's not bad, or when they come in with a 3-game winning streak against the Vols, they've had success against Tennessee. So, but we've got weapons. We still have got weapons. That's terrible. I apologize. We still have players that have abilities and that have...
the look on his face.
Oh, my God, when he just realized.
We will post this video because...
I love this guy.
99 out of 100 coaches wouldn't have caught it.
Oh, my God. And it's like it didn't register until he said it again, and then all of a sudden it dawned on him.
4 players out because of weapons charges and potential drugs charges, and he's describing why his team still will be competitive against Charlotte again.
Success against Tennessee. So, but we've got weapons. We still have got weapons. That's terrible. I apologize. We still.
The look on his face, again, all of a sudden it hits him, and he just shakes his head like,
so
did
great.
I really say that?
And the fact that there's no real pause. We've got weapons. We've still got weapons. That was terrible.
So
guy
great. Is great.
So great.
Oh, man. That is what you do. You know, it's either one of 2 things happens. Either he just glides by it and, you know, you can make fun of it a little and he can never acknowledge it, or you'll become an even bigger fan when he realizes that he himself has made a mistake and he is human. That is just awesome.
But we've got weapons. We still have got weapons. That's terrible. I apologize.
It makes me laugh every time.
Oh, my God. That's so great.
I need to hear that about 30 more times.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll have to have that as a drop.
But we've got weapons. We still have got weapons. That's terrible. I apologize.
His realization is so quick, it sounds like we edited it, but we didn't. We're watching the actual video. That's the way it came out.
We've got weapons. We still have got weapons. That's terrible. I apologize.
Shakes his head at himself.
Now I'm going to have to take off my shirt and hug Pat Summit.
There's no other way to fix this.
That's the only thing I can do.
Good thing I painted my body before the press conference. He takes off his shirt and it says, "I'm sorry."
Or it just says, "best weapon," and has an arrow pointing to his wang.
I do terrible. Love him. I love that guy. I think he's great.
He's pretty funny.
You know, and his players got in trouble, and I know people will say, well, he brought in these players, you know, that are troublemakers. But you know what?
But we've got weapons. We still have got weapons. That's terrible. I apologize.
Steve will post that video. It'll be in the video reel. You'll be able to see it at freebeerandhotwings.com. From him, we go to Heidi Fleiss in headlines. Heidi Fleiss, the madam who brought down a lot of people way back in the day. When did her fame happen? 97, 98?
It's got to be mid-90s.
Oh, boy. At least, maybe before that.
Long time ago.
It was a long time. Wasn't it like Charlie Sheen was like one of the big ones?
Yeah. Yeah, but this was way before his current incarnation, before his marriage to Denise Richards and everything else. So this is a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Well, in spite of the fact that she did nothing other than break U.S. law and then got famous because of it, she ended up on the British version of Celebrity Big Brother, the Hollywood Madam, as she's known. And she and cast members were talking over dinner, and someone brought up children, and she said something that has gotten her in some trouble.
No, I hope I never have babies. That would kill me because I'd be every minute. Is the baby okay? I worry too much. Have babies. I've never had kids. Thank God for abortion. My God.
You know, I'm actually so unshocked because it came out of her mouth. Like, it doesn't even faze me because it's her. If it was somebody respectable.
That's terrible.
Yeah, from her, I have low enough expectations that you're like, well, all right, it's still a horrible thing to say.
I've never had kids. Thank God for abortion. My God. I don't mean to offend anyone, but I wouldn't be a good mother, I shouldn't have kids.
I should kill them before they're born.
Oh, no. Now you're going to get it from the other side.
Well,
oh, you're screwed now.
Just play it along.
I mean, I don't believe in
We
abortion,
still have
but
got
it
weapons.
is.
That's terrible.
But it is legal. In her case, it is kind of a positive because, man, what ugly kids those would be.
Oh, they would, man.
Ugly and poorly
Look at
taken
her.
care of.
I mean, come on. She's one of the ugliest people in the world. I can't believe she ran a prostitution ring.
Well, she wasn't
Look
going to
at
be
that
employed
mess.
by it.
Man.
I've never had kids. Thank God for abortion. My God. I don't mean to offend anyone, but I wouldn't be.
God, all this talk about abortion is making me super wet.
Well, at least she had the good sense to follow it up with, I don't mean to offend anyone,
Well, yeah.
with my hilarious abortion joke.
God, is she a minger?
Isn't it if you have too many, you ruin everything and you can't have kids, or is that a myth?
I have no idea.
I would imagine there'd be some trauma involved.
Yeah, I think if you have too many, it can cause some trauma. I mean, especially if it's later.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like the morning after pill kind of thing, I don't think it's probably that big of a deal. But
Dumber Than Zane trivia is next. We need caller number 8 right now. 1-800-947-3979. You'll have a chance to play for $2,400. You get the new pair of shoes or boots from Cat Footwear. That is next.
Coming up, abortion in school and prayer.
We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
If you've done any of these things, give us a call.
Squirter.
Or if you're a
douchebag.
Or if you've done this. Any. Can call in now. And for my mom.
She's juicy.
Call in now.
That was, in fact, awesome of friend of the show, Rich Van Slyke, whose voice a lot of you would recognize.
Man.
Went ahead and did those jingles for us, for Joe. Good foresight on his part. 1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com. Time for Dumber Than Zane trivia. A chance for you to win $2,400 if you are the contestant. We called for a contestant at the end of the last segment. Zane's got a winning streak going on. As you well know, that's how the pot gets up that high. If you're new to the show, we start with a jackpot of $400 from our friends at Cat Footwear. Every time Zane wins, they add $400 to the pot. When Zane loses, someone gets that entire jackpot, and then we start over at $400. It has gone all the way up to $2,400. Our contestant will get a new pair of shoes or boots from Cat Footwear just for getting through, which is a difficult enough task, but it doesn't guarantee you a win. Jody in West Michigan, listening on 97.9 GRD. Hi, Jody.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
You got the new pair of shoes or boots from Cat Footwear, and you got a chance at $2,400. You could use it, no doubt.
No doubt.
Everyone could. Jody, what do you do?
Dental hygienist.
You are.
Okay.
You give a lecture? when you're doing the cleaning about flossing every time?
Educate.
To the same people? And they go, yeah, I didn't do it in the last 6 months, but 3 times.
Yeah.
You got to keep telling them.
I get that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Jody, I hadn't been very good about flossing the last time I went. Tell me if this was the better approach. They said, have you been flossing? And I bet some people lie, and I know that you can tell. So I said no, and she said why, and I said because I'm lazy. And she said, okay. Would you appreciate that honesty?
I would.
I'm doing better now, by
I'm
the
the
way.
same way. I'm like, no lecture. Just get the Sonic thing and clean.
Yeah, it's like I know how much bacteria I have in my mouth. I'm a gross human being.
3 cavities in my life. I'm not the type predisposed to getting cavities. I'm 1 foot in the grave. I'm 40. I'll live maybe 40 more years. If I get 3 more cavities, I'm okay with that. Shut up and clean.
You've only had 3 in your whole life?
Yes.
Wow, that is
or
impressive.
Thereabout. There's not many.
Roughly.
Just clean my mouth and shut your hole.
Wow.
Not you specifically,
Not
Jody.
you.
Unless you're his hygienist.
Unless you
and
give
then
lectures.
Okay.
No more lectures. Shut it.
Okay.
Jody, we're going to have you call heads or tails on a coin toss. If you could call it right now, that'd be great.
Tails.
Tails it is. Hot Wings?
It is heads.
Heads. Zane, first or second?
Second, please.
Zane will go second. Jody first. First 1 to 5 wins. Every time you get a question right, you get a point. Miss a question, and your opponent has a chance to steal. Jody, any questions?
No.
Zane, I doubt you have any questions. Here we go. Jody, you're up first. What 2 Disney characters are eating spaghetti when they accidentally kiss?
Oh, come on.
2 dogs.
Is that your guess?
Yes.
Your guess is 2 dogs.
That is incorrect. Zane, what 2 Disney characters are eating spaghetti when they accidentally kiss?
Lady and the Tramp.
Correct.
Come on now.
Got to be specific on that.
If it was 2
Character
people,
names.
you couldn't have just said people.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have worked.
They're characters.
I
right.
kind of wanted to give it to you, but no way.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
All right, Zane, your question. What painting was thought to be of Lisa Gherardini, wife of a Florentine clothmaker?
Again, please.
What painting was thought to be of a woman named Lisa Gherardini, wife of a Florentine clothmaker?
Italy, Lisa. It's got to be Mona Lisa. Piece of cake.
Correct.
Well, hot.
Lisa, your question.
Jody.
Okay.
Your name is not Lisa. It is Jody. Lisa was what the painting was.
Florentine, you're up.
Italy.
Terrible.
Jody.
Yeah.
What book is the most commonly shoplifted book in the United States?
The Bible.
Correct.
Wow.
A little irony there.
Sure is.
Shoplift the Bible.
Yeah. Gotta put the 10 Commandments on the first page.
Jeez.
Wings busting out every open night comics line. Eric Zane, your question. What U.S. state is just south of the Rainy River, one of Ontario's westernmost communities? Not the Rainy River, but the community of Rainy River.
What now?
What U.S. state is just south of Rainy River, one of Ontario's westernmost communities?
And you're looking for, I apologize. You said U.S. city?
What U.S. state is just south of Rainy River?
New York.
That is incorrect. Jody, chance to steal. This would tie it at 2.
Okay.
Zane seems to struggle with direction.
Will you say the question again?
I will. What U.S. state is... Did I call her Lisa again? I think I did. What U.S. state is just south of Rainy River, one of Ontario's westernmost communities?
Oh, what?
What state?
Yes.
Seattle?
That is not a state.
No.
It is very west. That now replaces 2 dogs as worst answer so far.
Why'd I get a stupid siren? Isn't Ontario in the eastern side of Canada?
Mm-hmm. Where did you grow up?
Yeah. What state are you
Michigan.
from originally?
What?
I don't know what Rainy River is. I've never heard of it.
What province is across the river from Detroit?
I understand that that's
Would that be
Ontario.
further west than New York?
Oh, I get you.
Wow.
After you even
I
said
think you
it,
should actually get a stupid siren for not understanding the explanation for your stupid siren. That was remarkable.
Okay.
2-1, I have it as the score. Zane's lead.
Yes, that is correct. What is the answer?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's Jody's question, right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Jody, which major sports organization, was the last in the United States to implement a comprehensive drug testing policy?
What? Could you say it one more time, please?
Sure. What sports organization was the last in the United States to implement a comprehensive drug testing policy?
I have no idea.
You familiar with what a sports organization is?
A little bit.
What in your mind would a sports organization be? Name one.
The Olympics?
Okay, that is incorrect.
Okay.
Terrible.
Yeah. Well.
Still have got weapons. That's terrible.
Zane, your question. Which sports organization was the last in the United States to implement a comprehensive drug testing policy?
The NBA.
That is incorrect. Happens to be the one that the biggest deal was made out of, Major League Baseball.
Okay. That's all right that you missed that, Jody/Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. You may be getting questions wrong, but I can't read the name that I wrote down. Zane's question.
All right.
What three-word phrase finishes this tagline? Save the cheerleader.
Why do I remember that from something? Isn't it significant? I know I've been exposed to this. Save the cheerleader. Was that an ad campaign? No, it was a TV show. And I watched it. It was from Heroes. Save the world.
Correct.
You heard the puzzle pieces fitting together.
3-1, Zane has the lead. Jody, your question.
Okay.
What 1998 Disney remake marked Lindsay Lohan's feature debut?
It's with the car. Herbie the Love Bug.
That is incorrect.
Me?
Eric Zane,
Freaky
chance to
Friday.
steal. That is incorrect. They say it's The Parent Trap.
Yep, that is the Parent Trap.
Parent Trap. That is correct.
When you said that, I
knew it was one of
it
the
tripped
other.
me for a second. I'm like, oh, that might be right. This might be wrong.
She probably wasn't even in that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm not sure. Don't know.
Zane has 3, Jody has 1.
And she was in that movie with that woman that has a full meaty penis. What is her name?
Then
again?
that would have been Freaky Friday. Jamie Lee Curtis is, I think, who you're thinking of.
Okay,
I don't think she
definitely
actually
in that
has.
movie.
Did you suggest that definitively she has a, quote, full meaty penis?
Well, we talked about that. She has man and women parts, and she has a penis, a big fat penis.
I don't think all of this is exactly accurate. Joe?
Doesn't she now do commercials for that yogurt that makes your poop soft, too?
Yes.
Yes, she does.
Disgusting man in the world.
That part is true.
She does. She does poop yogurt, and she has a penis.
That's one of the only funny things they do on Saturday Night Live when Kristen Wiig does that character.
Penis goes in here.
Eric Zane, your question. You lead at 3-1. Is that right? It's his question?
Yes.
Which U.S. president invented dozens of gadgets, including a revolving music stand?
Wow. The home has to have one of those.
This would put you up 4-1. Which U.S. president invented dozens of gadgets, including a revolving music stand?
George Washington.
That is incorrect. Jody, chance to steal.
Okay. Lincoln.
Probably right. I don't know. Could be.
That is incorrect. Thomas Jefferson. Inventor. Jody, your question.
Okay.
What game came with the Atari 2600 when you bought them when it debuted in 1977?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Asteroids.
That is incorrect.
Combat.
Zane with a chance to steal. That is correct. The game was, in fact, combat.
You know, if you got it from Sears, though, I think they gave you Gunslinger.
Yeah, and
Telegames.
When we bought it from Sears, we got exciting Othello, which I don't know how to play yet.
Stupid keypad.
I had to buy that separate. Great plan. Sorry. Zane has 4. Jody has 1. She's also said Seattle is a state and 2 dogs kissed in a movie, but they didn't have names.
Mm-hmm.
No. Zane, you could win it with this question. Name, without using more than 6 guesses, 6 countries in South America.
So I got to go 6 for 6.
You got to go 6 for 6. There are 12 that are listed on this card, so you only got to get half.
Stop me when I get one wrong. Right
I will.
Away, just for time's sake.
I will.
Argentina.
Yes.
Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil.
Yes.
Peru.
Yes.
Okay. I should have done these in my head because I'm giving her the answers. Bolivia.
Yes.
Yeah, sweet. All right, that's 5.
One more. If you're correct, you win the game, and it goes up to $2,800 for next week. We're going to dumb off after this round if you don't win.
God dang it.
All I want to do is comment. And I can't.
I was going to say Seattle, but that's a state. Nope.
Glad Fever checked in with that.
Just killing some time.
Colombia. I know that's not right, but that's all I have. I know we're pressed for it.
Colombia is correct.
Oh, it is correct. Oh, no way. Oh.
You should get it wrong. For saying I know that's not right.
Hell, I know more than I thought I knew. How about that?
You do.
Chile, Uruguay, Paraguay, Ecuador, Guyana, and Suriname.
Wow.
Are the others.
Sweet. Sorry about that, Jody / Lisa. Did you have fun?
I did.
All right.
Well, thank you for playing.
Yeah, you have the cat footwear. At least you got that going for you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to go back to educating people about the importance of floss, not lecturing.
I do.
Have a good day of cleaning.
Thank you, Jody.
Make sure you wear that mask. You don't want to get some plaque in your face.
Thank you.
Hold on, okay? We'll get her information. The pot goes up to $2,800.
She thinks we're funny. I think she thinks we're hot.
Probably, yeah. Well, she must. Mm-hmm. I guess. Next hour, if you missed it, the Make the Operator Laugh Challenge we played early yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Wasn't successful, but still one of the best ever.
It's never successful in terms of like somebody like winning the game, but it's always successful in terms of how we want it to go.
Probably true. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
If you've done any of these things, give us a call.
Anal squirter.
Or if you're a
Douchebag.
or if you've done this.
Deglazer.
Eddie
Homo.
can call in now, and for my mom.
She's juicy.
Call in now.
That's the Hot Wings squeak, as it's known. When it gets to that point, it goes up an octave. To me, that's always a big get when you can pull that out of Hot Wings.
You know something really got to me if I shoot up the octave.
Right. Call in now. Call in now.
Wheeze and
wheeze and squeak.
One, it's the old Hot Wings wheeze and squeak.
She's juicy.
Call in now.
Looking at the email after Dumber Than Zane trivia today, where
Yeah.
Jody was our contestant, lost 5-1. I Having never been someone, because we've always been on the show when we've been doing that game, I can't imagine what my reaction would be if I were listening. It's hard for me to put myself in that position, whether I would root for Zane as the host and as because when Zane wins, the pot goes up, or if I would root for the contestant. But I can't know for sure if I would have the same angry, visceral reaction that seems to happen against the contestants when they don't fare well. But Jody's getting clobbered.
Oh, she's getting killed.
Now, she didn't do well, and I think she would admit that.
I mean, she was terrible. There's no doubt about that. Very nice, very sweet, terrible at trivia.
Yeah. But, man, the fact that people say, well, I got an email. I am mad that she is awful. I think I would be delighted, because I would be convinced I could win. Then I'd get on the air and I'd fail.
Oh, you're right, man. There is
so many people.
They're saying some awful things about her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Very uncalled for.
Not
you
fair.
Can't say that.
You can't. Oh, look at that.
Well, that's actually just disgusting.
I can't believe they said that. Ooh.
We should read it to show how preposterous it is.
Larry writes, yeah, I want her poking around my mouth. Wow.
Hygienist.
A Stephanie writes, you have the stupidest effing people call in, and I can't take it. There should be test questions just to partake in this damn trivia.
I'm not sure that would be better.
That's rude.
In fact, I think we tried it.
Jody / Lisa was polite and kind and nice, and you said something mean.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes
I would never do that.
And sometimes it just falls that way. We could play again. She might win 5-1.
No.
Maybe. It's statistically plausible.
No, she wasn't good. There's no question. She wasn't good at the game, but that still doesn't warn you.
Terrible.
She was awful.
She's still nice. You can't say things like that.
Darren writes, way to start the year and dumber than Zane. If everyone who plays this year is as dumb as this broad, the pot will be $1 million by the end of the year.
Well, Darren, you've proved you're as dumb as you say Jody is.
Yeah, that's actually statistically impossible. It mathematically makes no sense.
Whatever, how many weeks we're on the air.
52 times 400 is not 1 million. Thanks for trying.
No.
Cat Footwear will go out of business. You're stupid.
So, guys, big tech announcement made yesterday by a couple of different networks.
Yeah.
And I guess we're supposed to be excited about this, and maybe you guys are, but I don't think you are.
Okay.
I'm excited to see this once at someone's house who has money.
Yes. I agree. That's a great way to look at it. ESPN announced that they will have a new network, not the Ocho, as foreseen in Dodgeball. It will be ESPN 3D, launching early this summer. According to The Hollywood Reporter and the USA Today, the network will broadcast at least 85 sporting events in its first year, beginning with the FIFA World Cup match on June 11th. That's right, ESPN 3D, exactly what it sounds like, a network that you'll be able to watch in your own home with 3D glasses. All you got to do if you're going to do this is make a couple of purchases or acquisitions.
Man.
3D glasses. Well, that makes sense. That's happened for years. I remember as a kid getting cardboard 3D glasses so I could watch Return of Swamp Thing in 3D on Saturday afternoon from Channel 5. Thanks for nothing. Didn't work. But boy, was it fun getting my parents to take me to Long John Silver's to get it. Big fat waste of time.
You get the cardboard glasses from the restaurant.
I know these are going to work because one side's red and the other side's green. Now, you'll also need a 3D-ready TV. That seems a little more complicated.
I'm sure those are cheap.
You'll also need a 3D cable box or cable package or satellite TV or whatever. So, and I was reading yesterday in one of the articles about this, because they're not the only one. Discovery 3D channel is a little further into the future. They're expecting to come next year. Now, when this becomes normal, it'll be great. But right now, I was reading in an article, it said 40% of Americans now have a high-def television in their home. And that's taken a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been around you've probably been able to get it for, I don't know, a decade? Just guessing.
Quite a long time, and at this point, I mean, hell, you can't even get an old tube TV very easily anymore, and it's still only 40%.
Yes.
You know, I mean, televisions last a while.
And
so
it said if you take that 40% of people who have an HD television, I think it said only about 60% actually get HD programming. The rest don't have it hooked up to something that makes it HD. It may be a better picture than their old tube TV or whatever, But they're not actually. They don't actually have the HD package,
sure,
or even HD ready material. So what are you doing with this?
Yeah,
it does seem a little early.
And if no one's going to run out when they just spent a good amount of change on a nice, what are they called? A plasma,
the flat screen,
what's the other one that's
LCD,
LED. Yeah. Those deals aren't going to turn around and go buy a 3D TV just to watch a couple of sporting events and to see a couple polar bears mating.
No, only the crazy richest of the rich will do this.
That's exactly right.
Because the thing, I'm not even interested in this. Like, down the road, maybe in 10 years I would be. I'm still marveling now how good my picture looks for sports in regular HD.
Yeah. Yes.
I was just watching a bowl game, and my wife and I were both saying the same thing. I go, I still can't believe how good this looks.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
that's
HD programming.
I don't need to feel like I'm sitting on the couch and have to move my head over to the side when a field goal is kicked.
Yeah,
I'm perfectly
I'm a
happy
big fan.
with just clean picture. I'm good with that.
The thing is, 3D to me is a novelty.
Right.
I kind of want to see Avatar on the IMAX in 3D. I think that'd be cool for that movie. Probably, and when I've only seen like 2 other 3D movies at an IMAX. It's been really cool. But it's also a novelty. Having a clearer picture with better sound, which is what HD is, that's not a novelty. That's, as you guys said, it's always going to be better.
Right, that's the new standard. That's
if in
what it is.
15 years my TV comes standard 3D and there's 100 different networks that have 3D, that's great. Can you imagine? That'd be good to watch porno on. That'd be sweet.
Oh, 3D porno, yeah. I mean, that's almost right at hologram right there.
Oh, that's
pretty
perfect,
sweet.
dude. But you could cut a hole in the TV and interact with it.
But the thing is, technically you'd just be using the air. But
you use the VCR slot that's still put in there for the few
that's
holdovers.
next.
But
that's next.
I have no interest in wearing dopey glasses, though, either. Like, I mean, the fact that you have to put on glasses to watch television. Like, can you imagine anytime you're walking through the room and something's on and, ooh, a good play. Oh, it looks all squirrely. Where are my dopey glasses so I can see this highlight?
Yeah, is it going to look all stupid like when you take the glasses off at a movie?
Yeah. It would have to, because everything is filmed with 2 lenses to simulate your eyeballs.
Right,
and so if you don't have the glasses, everything's going to have that weird little red line and green line around it. It's going to look all stupid.
How about that dopiness of... Now, do you think radio's going to follow suit? Because remember, there's HDTV. Well, by God, radio's got to capitalize on this and call it HD radio. Just like regular radio, but the same.
Well, in many instances, HD radio ran into the same problem that 3D TV is going to. Not clearly defined the advantages, though there are advantages, not completely taken advantage of. And then also, most people didn't know you had to go get a new HD receiver to actually be able to get the additional program.
Coming to a Clear Channel radio station near you. 3D radio.
3D beamed right into your brain.
It's so much more different.
I can't wait to have...
Except the same with a flashy name.
I can't wait to have 3D freebeerandhotwings.com, or when you turn it up on your website, Zane's Nose, My Lips, and Hot Wings Adam's Apple are out in your living room.
Stick out.
Okay, now that would actually be kind of funny.
Make love to Hot Wings Adam's Apple on freebeerandhotwings3d.com.
Grapple the apple.
Scott in Nashville. Hi, Scott.
Never in my in my life did I think I would hear a worse idea than ESPN Mobile, where they tried to launch their own cell phone network for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot all about that.
That was pretty ill-fated.
Now we get to watch soccer and bass fishing in 3D. That is exciting stuff.
You're right.
Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Scott. It's a good point.
Yeah.
And by the way, they said that this network, it's going to have 85 events that are going to be covered live in 3D, which, again, the novelty of it, like if there was a bar that had it and you could rent glasses or whatever, I'd want to watch it for about an hour.
No, this is
a minute.
Not going to work.
Yeah, but
this is going to spend millions and millions of dollars on this stupid thing.
Yeah, the problem is they're taking the most expensive technology possible and applying it to a sport that all the poorest countries enjoy.
Yeah, and where they're going to market it here, where people might have disposable income, not right now because of the economy. It's where there's the least amount of interest. Now,
yeah, my God, do I want to watch South Africa and Guyana play soccer?
It should be baseball. Can you imagine if there's a long, big drive to left center, a home run, Yankee Stadium, going right at the camera? The ball?
Right.
That'd be great.
It'd be pretty neat.
Cool.
I think at some point this might be cool, but Like I said, maybe 10 years down the road.
It will take forever to make it to the mainstream.
Keith in Springfield listening on WQLZ. You have another gadget we can look forward to. Keith, just listen on your radio. This is always good.
Don't talk to the radio. Don't talk to the phone. Talk to the radio. Wait for it.
Okay, yeah. I'm just, other day I was watching TV. I seen the infomercial for HD sunglasses, and I couldn't believe what it was. I have no idea what it was. I was wondering if any of you guys have actually seen the commercial for HD sunglasses.
Well, I have not.
No.
I was hoping you had the information.
Yeah, do you have any more info on them for us?
You had it.
That call was very disappointing.
What a retarded imbecile.
I thought he was going to say, I saw a commercial for them, so I promptly ordered them, and when they came, I ate them.
It's always trouble when they start listening to the delay.
You have to prove to me that you're not a dope at that point, because I know that the last thing that Steve says is, all right, turn your radio down, and the guys will get to you in a moment. That's I guarantee. Now, it's easy to miss that, but at the same time,
Hey, guys.
He may be a great guy. 1-800-947-3979. Later this hour, by the way, speaking of technology, Yahoo Finance has a list of 10 things that are about to be obsolete that it says you're a fool if you buy them. And I guarantee there are things on this list that you have bought in recently or are about to purchase or would have had no problem purchasing if the need came up. Whether or not it's right or not, I don't know, but we'll get to that coming up later this hour. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
My cousin walked up to me and she said, "Did you see what grandmother wrote about you?" And it's a story titled Joey. I mean, this is almost quoted verbatim. Joey got into an accident in his mother's car. He's working at a movie theater, and he is not going to go to college. He's going to be a skydiver. This is the portrait of a loser. What?
That's the octave again.
There it is.
That's Hot Wings.
2 for 2. 1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com. In a moment, we'll get to the Make the Operator Laugh challenge that we did early yesterday morning. In fact, let me readjust that. We'll get to that first because I've got another story that I want to work in at some point, and it's very short, that shows finally some negative ramifications for somebody that went on that TV show, My Super Sweet 16 on MTV. Because don't you hate every one of those people?
No.
So much.
Bad things happened to one of them. We'll share that coming up a little bit later. But this, one of the best editions ever of the Make the Operator Laugh challenge. Right now, a return to one of our favorite games that pops its head up every once in a while.
Yeah.
The Make the Operator Laugh challenge.
Yes.
This game seems simple in description. Because it's simple. We get you on the phone. We conference call you with an operator for information. And then if you make them laugh, you win.
Right.
Now, without giving anything away, in the past, all we've looked for is an operator who, they're always all business, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to chit-chat and get your request and get you processed.
Right.
That's their job.
Mm-hmm.
They're all business, so you are dealing with a person who's not really ready for laughs.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been examples in the past of how it works if you can somehow think your way through it.
Mm-hmm.
What a lot of people do is try to either crack a joke or be offensive or creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what's been displayed so far.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say 85% of the time. One of those last three examples happens.
Yes. Now, if you can make the operator laugh, you'll get qualified to win the refurbished laptop from thirdorb.com. You'll also, for sure, get a VIP membership to freebeerandhotwings.com.
Yeah.
So there's stuff there. And by the way, Joe, we will get to make sure we get to the drawing. How many people are in that drawing from December for the
6?
Oh, 6.
1 of 6.
Well, let's just do it now before I forget. Hot Wings. Joe has randomly numbered them. The people on the list. You have not seen the list, so you can choose a number randomly between 1 and 6, and that will assign the winner. Who is it?
2.
Patrick Chavez from Comstock Park, Michigan.
He wins the refurbished laptop from thirdorb.com for the month of December.
Nice.
There you go, Patrick. Let's meet our contestant, Morgan in Maine. Hi, Morgan.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
All right, buddy.
Are you ready to make the operator laugh challenge, or make the operator laugh, Morgan?
Oh, yes, I am.
Easy.
Okay.
Easy. Piece of cake, right, Morgan?
Oh, it's going to be easy. Yeah, I make people laugh all day long.
Really? Are you the type of guy that's life of the party at work?
Yeah, occasionally, of course, yeah.
What, when you're with your pals, makes them really lose it? I mean, come on.
Let me see. I have a penchant for doing all kinds of stupid humor voices.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah,
you know what? I
good.
would bet the operator would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Good. Morgan, I'm going to dial. Once the operator is on, it's all you. We won't say a word, okay?
Okay.
We'll request the operator,
Yeah.
and once they're on, it's you.
Yeah, just butt out some nuttiness, you know?
You got it.
Sweet.
All right, Morgan. In a moment, you'll be on.
All right.
Make the operator laugh challenge.
AT&T 411 nationwide. City and state, please.
Operator, please.
Please hold for help with your request.
Morgan.
You're on.
What city and state, please?
I want my mommy. I need to talk to my mommy. Do you know I need my mommy's boy? I need my mommy. I need her phone number.
If it was the make the operator transfer you challenge, you'd be doing well.
Yeah, because the operator knows you're doing a voice of a retarded person. That's great. Now you're getting a supervisor.
Supervisor, how can I help you?
I need to talk to my mommy. Do you know my mommy's phone number? I need my mommy. I got an alley, so I need my mommy. Hello, lady? I need to talk to my mommy.
Thank you.
Yeah, Morgan,
mercifully. Morgan.
Wow.
Maybe if she hung out with you and your friends more, she would find.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I mean, I laughed.
Morgan, can you maybe talk us through your flaw?
You know.
Yeah.
Maybe break it down for us.
What went wrong in your eyes, and looking back on this fiasco?
Looking back, I think that she needs to get a personality.
No, absolutely not.
Maybe, you know, I think maybe it was just the wrong voice. Maybe if you had done a Beavis.
Yeah.
You know, or something of that nature.
Yeah,
maybe you would have had more success.
Could you share with us a couple other voices that are in your repertoire of wacky voices?
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
No, thanks, Morgan.
Beat it.
Your judgment is every bit as good as how hilarious you are.
Oh my God! If I had that guy for a friend, I would make him not my friend anymore.
I can say that Morgan was every bit as funny as he was interesting.
Oh.
Yep. He lived up completely to all expectations.
Well, he didn't win.
Which is a shock.
Bo, listening in Peru, Indiana. Hi, Bo.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good. Bo, you ready to play?
Yeah, I got a different approach this time.
You do? Okay.
You've played before?
Actually, man, it's kind of ironic. I sent you guys an email yesterday, and then I just turned up the radio about the 411 thing, and then you guys are doing it, so it's pretty cool.
There is no irony. I put this on because I saw that email, and I went, hey, Bo's right.
Awesome, bro.
So you inspired this. So, Bo, you called your shot. You said you wished you could play this game.
Yes, I'm going to act like an old man because I figured maybe I'm an old person. Maybe they'll let me through.
Operators think old people are hilarious.
Yeah,
that is a proven
true.
fact.
That is
I read it
factual.
on Wikipedia.
Wow.
All right, I'm gonna.
What an angle, man. That's even better than last.
Yeah, like this. Listen to this. I'm going to go.
It's a wacky voice.
Oh, my God.
Bo,
You got the whistle worked
really.
in. That's pretty good.
The last guy didn't have anything going. I think your approach is completely different and not at all the exact same thing of the last guy. Really.
I can't.
He was a little too retarded. I mean.
Yeah, totally.
Boy, you know,
he wasn't together like you.
Is the retarded community that listens to the show. They're not pleased with this these stereotypes.
All
I
right.
thought long and hard about this. I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to dial the operator. We'll see how
Okay,
it goes.
let's do this one. This ought to be good.
I'm on the radio.
Yeah, I'm stupid too.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Operator, please.
Please hold for help with your request.
Okay, Bo. Come on, go.
Hello, what city and state?
I'm trying to get Canada.
No, what city?
Oh, it's Kalamazoo.
Okay, and what number do you want there?
I'm trying to reach the section. Sharon. In Kalamazoo, I'm trying to reach my wife.
What name would I check?
Hold on 1 minute. Let me ask the nurse. Yeah, it's all right. I can take my medication, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, it's Kalamazoo.
I know it's Kalamazoo, but what number do you want in Kalamazoo? Who are you calling?
Trying to get who? Call, Derek.
You're trying to get who?
Call, Derek. Can you help?
Oh, boy, it's so close. He was about to crack up.
Oh, my.
That was awesome, man. Thanks for letting me do that, guys. That was awesome.
Bo, thank you.
Hey, thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right, buddy. Well, I got to give Bo credit for one thing.
God.
He stayed in character far better than anyone else who's ever played that. Well, no, the first guy stayed in character. I just didn't like the character.
Yeah, well, he was, Mommy.
By the way, does anyone believe that he makes his friends laugh regularly?
No, he doesn't have any friends. His friends are mannequins that he draws wieners on.
No, I believe he has found people who are as retarded as he is.
No.
He makes it bad for people. Again, we're going to get more emails from people in Maine. This is not representative of the rest of us here.
And we agree. Mm-hmm. Turns out that's correct because we didn't yesterday.
Yeah.
But just now I look. Mm-hmm. Brian writes, please stop taking calls from Maine. At least from Morgan. It's embarrassing to all Mainers.
You see, that's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Ryan writes, hey, guys, so I'm part of the management team for a call center, like the ones you call.
Yeah.
Listening to you guys do this is fantastic. I know all the reps on the floor taking calls are so unhappy from 8 hours of back-to-back calls that the funniest person in the world could be calling and they would not crack a smile. But that certainly doesn't mean you shouldn't keep trying. Personally, of the 100 or so calls I can take in a day, maybe 1 or 2 manage to make me smile, much less laugh.
God, what a pain-in-the-ass job that is. I can't think of much worse than that job.
He points out something we've mentioned before, a large reason why a lot of people don't laugh is because everything is recorded, and laughing at a center will certainly result in being reprimanded if that call is one of the ones chosen. Why would they not be allowed to laugh?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're sitting there being silly the whole time. Man. Just a chuckle. That's all we're shooting for.
Man.
In a moment, Yahoo Finance says there are a bunch of objects that probably you own a lot of them and may be considering buying more, that they say you're buying something that's about to be obsolete by the end of as early as this year.
Yeah, great. All I have to do is think about anything I've bought in the last month. It's probably on the list.
Stock from Citadel.
Getting around to it. Clear Channel.
Oh. Maybe one other. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
Paul Stanley won an award from Speak with a Lisp magazine.
He did?
As most attractive man ever who speaks with a lisp.
Hottest lisper.
I did.
That's right. We're proud to be a part of the Kids Army. We'd be idiots to put out things fans don't want.
Gene Simmons, by the way, from Kiss, is going to be on a TV show tonight.
Yep.
Called I Get That a Lot.
He's going to be on that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Which one? You thought it was something else?
He was on last night. He was on Shatner's Raw Nerve.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know was a show.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what is your deal?
This one is, this show, I watched it one other time. My wife and I had watched it, and it's actually, innocently entertaining. Tonight it's Snoop Dogg, Gene Simmons, and Paris Hilton, and what they do is they take these celebrities and they glam them down, so to speak, and then they put them in a job where you wouldn't in a city where you wouldn't normally expect to see them.
Yeah.
And then they just have them do that job, like
so Snoop Dogg working at a car wash in Boise, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like when I saw it, Leanne Rimes was working as a waitress at an ice cream and breakfast joint.
Okay.
And she kept sort of, at first she's just very subtle. And I think I think they might have actually had her in Nashville. And people are like, you look a lot like that country singer. And she goes,
I saw that.
Oh, Leanne Rimes. Oh, I get that a lot.
What is the name of the show?
I Get That a Lot.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Snoop Dogg, Gene Simmons, and Paris Hilton are on tonight's episode.
Amazing. I can see why they call it that.
It's gotten so bad in these 3 days that even though when you're listening, you're still effing up left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how you did it. Did you, we were talking about that show, Raw Nerve with William Shatner, as I dispense with that awkward pause.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Simmons wanted to name his band something other than Kiss originally.
We were riding in a broken-down Camaro that Paul was driving, and I wanted to call the band, of course I wasn't in school at that point, I wanted to call the band...
I hope this is bleeped.
You know, that four-letter word that begins with F.
You want to call the band that.
And I wanted to call the first album You. Second album can be, Me, right? Me. Off. And endless variations of all the...
Right.
And...
Right.
We're going to go see. I'm going to go see, the F.
Of course, you'd have difficulty advertising.
Well, of course, I didn't think about advertising or that the marketplace or the FCC would have a problem with it. So it was Paul Stanley who said, how about Kiss? And we immediately started going, that's the name of the band.
Of course, Paul Stanley is the one who said Kiss. Of course. He was looking at a man when he said it.
Hey, Gene.
How about Kiss?
How about Kiss?
He actually said a kiss, but Gene didn't hear it.
Uh-huh.
How about a kiss?
Of course, also, how
Lean
about
in.
Kiss?
No, that's not true. I said, how about a kiss? Unzip.
By the way, Shatner seems, and maybe if I had witnessed that show in person, or heard the entire clip instead of just that isolated segment, but it makes it seem like Shatner is the least engaged person ever, because at the moment when Gene Simmons said, we're going to call it, F, you hear Shatner give barely a mutter of,
Yeah.
like he's barely playing along.
That's what it sounded like to me.
Maybe that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So Yahoo Finance has this list of 10 things they say that you don't need to buy anymore, that are going to be obsolete. They say maybe even by the end of this year. Some of them, they would argue, are on the verge of being obsolete now. Maybe something you've decided not to buy anymore. I have purchased or used nearly all of them still.
Oh, okay.
And I'm guessing that'll be the case for a lot of people. Now,
Okay,
if this hits at your core business, we are not trying to close your business down, merely talking about an article about business trends that Yahoo Finance says are likely to take place. This is not an attack on any individual business or anybody's wherewithal.
Yes.
That seems obvious, but we've seen some fussiness before.
All right. I got to guess.
Okay.
Video cameras that have actual tape, that use tape.
I think that's actually older than the things on this list. Like, that's more obsolete than some of the things on this list.
You can still use those. In fact, a lot of people still use or even purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of people now, there's still such massive, you get such massive amount of space on a camera, you don't even need it.
Everything's so digital now.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
I got one that'd be a bummer for you, Free Beer.
What's that?
Blu-ray.
Not on there.
No.
Thank God.
Yeah, but I was going to say, I just bought one.
I did read an article that Blu-ray is almost that its lifespan will be much shorter than regular DVD was.
Because you can download.
Yes, and you can download in HD, and that's only going to get faster because more and more people are going to have access to the internet.
Because with that PlayStation 3, I know I can download, but I didn't realize it was as good a quality with that you view than a Blu-ray.
Yeah, even like on my cable system. In the on-demand section, there's a whole section of, it used to be like 2 offerings that were HD on-demand, and now there's almost everything you could want, including a lot of network TV. But I read that whereas the DVD lifespan lasted from, I don't know, I think it said the early 90s, where it was started to infiltrate homes, up until now, and obviously people are still buying DVDs, there's still big sections of DVDs,
sure,
that Blu-ray will be maybe half that time before it's replaced by the next technology. One of the things on the list happens to be DVDs. They say they are obsolete. This is what they say. By the end of the year, Blockbuster plans to close nearly a quarter of its stores. The late fees are annoying. Services like Netflix are ridiculously cheap, and you have so much access to on-demand movies through internet, satellite TV, and all the other things that make it in your home. Like you said, like on the fact that not only did Netflix, just devour the business of a lot of the rental stores, though I still go to one. Then they made it available to everybody on Xbox 360. So if I know I want to watch a movie, I don't even have to. If I were a Netflix member, from what I understand, I'm not.
PlayStation 3, you can sign up for Netflix.
Then just download it. You don't even have to leave your home. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just bought a regular cheap Blu-ray player, like $120 or something, and it's enabled with Netflix and all that.
Oh,
all I got to do is plug a phone line into it, and
just
I can download
light
stuff.
A match.
Just like the internet, yeah.
With Blockbuster, you might as well just burn the places down. Just put the chemicals in the right place and burn it and collect the insurance money because you're going under. It's over.
Like I said, not an attack on anybody's business.
Well, it's true. They're going to go out of business.
They are probably going to have to maybe divest a little. Maybe go into some other type of
just light it now.
Retail.
Get the employees out of there. Have a nice good burn at like 3 a.m.
I feel bad for the person who in 1996 saved their money and bought a franchise fee or paid the franchise fee for a Blockbuster. Because I'm assuming it's like anything else. And then said, man, I'm set for life, man. This is a good, this is my family business. I own this.
This is a gold mine.
So over.
Talk about dominant for a while.
Jeez.
Well, 25, 30 years.
Okay, XM Sirius.
Nope. They're too obsolete to be on this list.
Already gone.
They were obsolete when MP3 players came into when iPods started. It was obsolete then.
Yeah, that was the problem. Satellite radio was basically obsolete by the time it came out.
Especially as we're on the cusp of much more common stuff streaming to cell phones, which is already 10 times more common now than it was a year ago, and looking into the future even more.
Right.
One of them we just bought for the radio show, external hard drives.
Oh.
It says everybody needs to back up music, photos, and other material in your computer, and a lot of people are turning to external hard drives. But apparently there are backup services like websites that have replaced external hard drives. Steve, have you initiated that one yet? Is there any? Can we take it back?
We could,
and we could store this stuff off-site. It's probably more expensive.
Yeah, but then the internet access here would have to be consistent.
Yeah. You don't want to. You have to rely on an actual decent system, and we don't have that. So
probably not the best idea.
Come on, guys. Don't make fun of things. Be like me and cohesive and polite and nice to everybody.
Right. Yeah. Sorry about that.
I actually have a little game that I'm trying to see how long I can go this year without insulting Sean, and I'm day 3, and I feel good about it so far because he seemed fragile these first couple of days for sure.
Well, I think for your game's sake and Sean's, it's good you'll be gone a few days.
Oh, yeah.
So you can recharge your batteries.
And technically it only counts as 2 because I think he wasn't here on Monday, correct?
Yes, that's true.
Well, I could very easily I'll make fun of Sean more the day he's not here. And he's been ill, and I think, he was in a bad state yesterday because he was so sick. So I didn't want to pick on him. So I'm going to see how many days I can go without making fun of Sean the engineer over something that he has no control over.
Like what?
Of anything. If anything goes haywire, I blame Sean for everything. If the garbage disposer in the sink goes bad, I blame Sean. So that's the way it always goes.
Who else was convinced that if we got him to talk about it long enough, he would inadvertently go into insults that had no control and then realize he was doing it?
I was pretty sure.
Well, he did just say he blamed Sean for the disposer not working. Does that count?
No, because it wasn't an insult for him. It didn't involve something that cut to the core.
I mean, like if I were going to make fun of Sean, I would say, "Hey, Sean,
see this will count.
Stop worshiping the Druids and reset the server so we can get the GD internet."
That counts.
That counts. It's over.
Yep, it's done.
Yeah, you can't say, if I was going to insult him, this is what I would say.
I loved it, though. It was so great.
Well, start over now. Starting now.
5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
On this list from Yahoo Finance, objects and technologies that are going to be obsolete by the end of the year. And some of these you'll be able to... Well, you're on a roll now. Some of these are...
I thought that was the end of the day. Sorry, another list.
Dude, he's going to get Ra the Sun God after you.
Number 2, home telephone service. I think a lot of people have already moved in that direction.
Yeah.
With cell phone, email, instant messaging, all the other stuff that you have.
Flying cars in there?
Nope.
Hell no, man. That's the future.
They say smartphones that aren't iPhone or BlackBerry. So BlackBerries account for 40% of the smartphone market. iPhone accounts for 25%. The new Google phone will probably get into that, but anybody else is probably going to be squeezed out of the business. That's their suggestion. 5, compact digital cameras. The wave of the future is the single-lens reflex camera. I don't know what that is.
SLR. That's the lens, photographer.
Oh, I don't buy that. I don't buy that for a second because those are great cameras, but they're bulky. Part of the reason why people like small ones is because you can shove them in your pocket.
Those are $100.
And this says, well, the big ones, the SLR, take much better photos. But I don't think the average, like when I look at my digital photos, I don't look at them and go, well, I wish this was a little more crisp. It's a photo, and it helps me remember what I was there for, and that's good.
Yeah, that's really short-sighted. I mean, there's a reason. SLRs have been around for, well, hell, since like cameras began almost. But most people didn't get them because the other ones are easier. They're smaller. I mean, my small camera is 10 megapixels. It takes great pictures. You just can't control it as much.
Fits in your pocket.
Yeah, it's dinky.
If
it's
anything,
great.
Cell phone photos have gotten so good that I think people are going to get away from carrying the small digital camera.
Yeah.
Newspaper subscriptions.
That's too bad, man. Because there is nothing I like better than actually holding a paper.
I'm with you. I actually like flipping through the paper and looking through the articles. I
can't stand reading it online.
I read a ton of stuff online. I read the majority of newspaper articles online because I'm not going to subscribe to 10 different newspapers.
Plus,
it doesn't make any sense.
Poop.
But
when I get a paper and I have to, if I've been working up a good one and I can't go, if I'm bound up, all I need is paper delivery. Oh, get me to the toilet. It is such a laxative. It is right up there. Remember that we did that bit about things that are laxatives that are weird? Like if I go into a Home Depot or a library, I got a crank.
Yes.
That and a newspaper.
So you're really screwed if you go into a Home Depot and they give you a flyer or something. You're like, it's all over. Man. You're not even going to make it to the back of the store. You're going to go in a shower.
USA Today here. Oh, hang on.
Hunkered down on the display toilet. Or the back of a Toro.
Leaned over a ladder.
Sale on Ryobi. A lithium battery. Are you kidding? I'm sorry, sir.
That's a good deal.
Oh, God. Hold on.
An insert.
Ooh, 2-for-1 cock.
Glad you said cock.
With an L there.
Yeah.
I'm glad that had an aw sound, not an ah sound.
That would create another immediate reaction.
That's a different store.
That would mean entrance, not exit. Same horrifying. The other things on this list, CDs. They say they're going the way of the 8-track and the cassette tape. Not surprising since most people are buying digital. New college textbooks. They say there's no point now that you can download your textbooks from the Internet. God, that's got to be a lot cheaper.
So that means we have to pay a $100 download fee for our textbooks?
It's got to be cheaper, right?
I will never forget the raping we would get year to year when you'd go to the student book exchange to get some piece of crap thing with a binding all busted with a used sticker on the back.
Highlights
for $80.
And filled with boogers.
Oh, it's a used book.
But don't worry, you'll be able to sell it back
blood
for
on the inside.
25% of the value, and then you lug it to the store at the end of the semester hoping for some beer money.
That's exactly what you do.
Oh, the professor decided to get the new edition. You might as well go throw this in someone's car window.
Yeah. I got 8 books. And a lab book, and I get $15, enough for a case of the Beast, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm sure sometime in my 50s I'll bust out my Sociology 101 book and decide to read up on agrarian culture. Number 9, gas-guzzling cars. They say it's finally happened. Consumers are interested in buying cars that get good gas mileage.
No.
And the manufacturers are interested in making them. I don't believe
That's not true. That is not true.
Man, dude,
as soon as gas prices go down, big car sales go up. People want the biggest car that they can afford to power.
Right.
And if they can afford to power it, then they will. If gas prices go up, that's when eco cars go, when their sales go up.
Right. There's a reason that when gas cost $4, you couldn't get a Prius, and then when it went down to $250 again or $225, I think it got down as far as that all of a sudden there was no waiting list, or the waiting list was significantly shorter for the Prius.
Yeah, I mean, now that gas is pretty solid at like $2.50 or wherever you happen to live, but in that general ballpark, Ford F-150, Chevy Silverado, GMC Sierra, all big sellers again. Huge sellers.
Number 10 on this list, they say homes and appliances that are not energy efficient. Same thing they say due to new federal environmental standards, homes and appliances that are not energy efficient or haven't been upgraded will be diminished in value, and buying new ones at this point would be silly. That may be well true.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
Alex says we're becoming obsolete. We should be on this list. My God, you're getting worse every day. Zane, you're destroying the show. God, you piss me off. Either stay on topic or effing completely move on. This is ridiculous.
I don't remember you being that far.
I don't know.
That's kind of how it goes. I mean, when Alex goes out to eat, he makes sure everybody talks about the exact same thing until appetizers come. And then from appetizers until main meal, they talk only about another specific topic.
Yeah, Alec, do you only focus on one male joint in front of your face when you're knelt down at the bathhouse? Get serious.
We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. 97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative. It's the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Free Beer, Hot Wings, and Eric Zane. So I mentioned while we were on vacation, I was playing basketball, and we play at a church, and the youth pastor there is the person that organizes the gym use and everything, and he came up and said, hey, I understand someone who plays here works for GRD. And I reluctantly said yes, because I thought, oh boy, I don't want these two worlds colliding. What did I do? You know what I mean? He says, you work for the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show? Yes. Who are you? I tell him.
Yeah.
He goes, I think you did something really good for one of the families that goes here. And I'm like, oh, well, this is a lot better than I expected. I always assume the worst. That's probably not the best thing to do. Turns out we helped facilitate it. But with the holiday break-ins, I'm very hesitant to take a lot of the credit, because the credit goes to the sponsors and the hoodlums. And in this case, it goes to, and I don't know which one of the schools, but it goes to one of the schools that did a holiday break-in. And it was kind of neat. Every once in a while with these holiday break-ins over the years, we get to see it sort of from the other side, where sometimes the person who made the nomination is there when the person gets home and realizes what has happened, where Christmas was left behind, or sometimes the person who got the break-in themselves puts two and two together and sends a note. But a lot of times we don't hear anything. Well, in this case, one of the children from the families came to church the next time and was excited and bounding down the hallway, and he started talking to this child, and they started talking about how it was amazing. They came home from school and they had been told there wasn't going to be a Christmas, and you know, I didn't have a place to sleep, I didn't have a bed, and you know, all these terrible things, and at this point the guy's not really understanding what's going on, and said, I came home from school and mom and dad were there and everybody was crying and all this stuff was there. And the child had no idea where it came from. But he went on to explain that, you know, that it actually changed the child's mood. He said you could see, you know, that life had gotten to them at an age. I don't really want to say the age. I don't want to give too many details because I don't remember exactly what was changed and what wasn't. But that life had gotten to them at an age where typically kids shouldn't be thinking about that stuff.
Sure.
And at the very least, it took that away for a little while. And it was really great of him to share that. And I thought just for so many people that were involved in the break-ins, and if any of the students were listening or you know somebody that was involved or one of the sponsors, that it really does make a difference, at least to those families. So I thought that was really cool.
That's very cool.
And I'm glad I didn't get in trouble for swearing in the gym or something like that.
No, man. That's
a bummer.
That's the last thing you want.
CMU plays tonight against Troy. Did you figure out what their mascot is? I liked Zane's suggestion that they are the Troy Temper Tantrums. That seems like a minor league baseball team name.
Yeah.
They are sometimes referred to as the Men of Troy. Does that help at all?
The Spartans?
The Trojans.
The Trojans.
Gotcha.
I guess you'd be from Sparta if you were a Spartan. But whatever.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either.
All right.
So we'll see
how
that
good?
goes. They've won or shared the conference title for the Sun Belt Conference last 4 years. They're 9-3. They beat some good teams. So yeah, they should be pretty good. It should be one of those games where first team to 35 or 40 wins.
Okay.
They both have big offenses.
Is it on ESPN?
ESPN or ESPN2. It's definitely one.
Is this
of them.
a Bentley game, you think? I'm guessing.
Probably.
It could be. Pam Ward, Ray Bentley?
Probably.
Oh, man, am I glad that fiasco ended. That was a big mistake picking on Ray Bentley, man. He did not like that at all.
To be clear, Ray was fine with us mocking him. He was not so cool with us mocking Pam Ward. He said, you can make fun of me all day. But you know what? He ended up being really nice about it. He would have had every right to want to stomp our face in, which I think he did initially.
Boy, was he mad. For some reason, he got attacked. Who knows? Just because he's there, I guess.
That's really what it was, because there's no real beef with Ray
I think
Bentley.
he had been on Kevin's show a few times, and for that, I guess that was enough to get me going.
We decided that if you're not with us, you're against us, apparently.
He's only one of my favorite alumni ever from our alma mater.
He came from our school, played in the Super Bowl.
Lives nearby. Why not hate him?
Yeah, of course.
Seems like a nice guy. He's actually a really good analyst.
And he gets thrown under the bus, and then our asses get all tight. And when Marissa comes walking, and he goes, she doesn't know because she's young. We turn off the mics. Who is Ray Bentley? What?
Why?
What happened? He called several times. He's very upset. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
And he didn't like the fact that I didn't know who he was.
Which, that made it worse. Apparently, he calls and the interns go, I don't know who you are. Click.
Hang up.
I'm the guy that's being assaulted for what seems like no reason. This was after the Michigan or CMU Michigan State game.
He made a sound of the game or something like that, and then somehow I went off and called him unprofessional and a cement head, and then we started calling Pam a man. And
that was the problem,
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
Now, that was an isolated incident. I can't think of any other time on this show where someone who didn't deserve it was made fun of for a long amount of time.
Yeah, that was the only time, so.
Brutal. That was an isolated incident.
Hideous.
In no way would I backpedal just as quickly if Joe put a note up on the screen that said, blind Boise State cowbell girl on line 1. In no way would I backpedal and feel just as badly.
She's joined by Susie Colber.
Oh, no. Peppermint Patty's on the phone.
Oh, no.
What are we going to do?
Hey, guys.
How are you? Well, fortunately, we can turn our attention to somebody who's not been made fun of unfairly. JT's next.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's always gone through unscathed.
Oh, wow, look at the size of those rhymes with cities. Begins with a T. Wow, I actually get turned down when I see him now. Nice weird. Cone boobs.
You get turned on when you see them?
They look so womanly. Get fatter. It's like all the weight went off pudding and into JT's face. All right, bring in the ratings killer.
So, no, he's not anymore.
Yes, he is. It's all luck.
He's not.
No.
It's all luck. Every possible way to tear him down.
We have planned. We have a big event planned, at least in our minds.
Never going to happen.
That it's because over the years, it's going on 6 years now that we've been doing this. We've been assaulting him for probably about 5.5 of them because the last program director left, and then JT came in and started eating, and then
to his credit, I don't know anyone who rolls with it better than him.
Well, and so that's
his body's made for rolling.
It
is.
We've gotten hours and hours of footage of attacks on JT. So GRD is now planning a how did we word it? A
GRD insults of JT weekend.
Right.
You know, you have your 90s weekend. And,
yeah.
You know,
so the top
somebody
of every
has a
hour.
new album come out. Mm-hmm. It's the Fray weekend or the bootleg weekend.
The bootleg comes out. We play a track at the top of every hour. We play a big barrage of insults that were levied on JT for no particular reason.
JT's self-esteem is crushed weekend.
Because we've called him gay, fat, ugly,
carrot penis,
poor, carrot penis,
creepy. Let's not forget creepy.
Oh, yeah, pedophile.
Child molester.
Yep.
No, it wasn't child molester.
Ugly.
It was adult woman molester.
And, I'm sure it's all been said at one point or another.
Yeah.
Ratings killer, ratings poison.
And then we'll do like a listen for a sound to win, and we'll record JT hearing some of these clips, and then we'll say, when you hear the moment when JT's spirit dies finally, caller number 8 wins some of his clothing or something. Wins the beret he wore to the Christmas party.
Oh, what? By the way, who the hell is? It's like he's inspired by LeBeau from Hogan's Heroes, and he wears like corduroy suit jackets. Who the hell wears corduroy suit jackets? This stupid idiot. What a troll.
Well, like we were saying, we moved away from people who were insulted for what seemed like no reason, and then I mentioned JT was in, and then there was a brief blackout of I don't remember what happened.
It's like
it was a reason. That's why.
Right.
It's like he goes there and shakes down a bunch of people that are sleeping on cots at Mel Trotter and steals their clothes and goes to the Christmas party. It smells like pee.
Hey, Sugar Bean, give me your clothes. Well, JT's in next. It's 97.9 GRT.